Yo, yo. Hello. What is uppity, 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 up? Hey, mannequin. Long time no see. Goodness. Live. I wonder if there's a red dot. Let's see. Live. Red. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Tweet. Tweety, tweet, tweet, baby. Oh, wow. Some people be listening to that podcast a lot. I don't know if you guys, a lot of people have been sending or adding or, adding me about like their Spotify, like most listened to podcasts and things like that. And a lot of people have me on their top of their list, and it's pretty cool because it's just crazy. Like the amount of minutes that some people listen is wild. It's like thousands and thousands of minutes, you know what I mean? Which it's just crazy. Raven, what's up? But yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Another late stream. Back to the late hours. That day that I streamed in the morning, I ended up taking a nap. And that didn't work out great for the sleep schedule, but you know what? I got to this point where we kind of have like this forever ending goal of, I want to have the perfect sleep schedule, life, blah, 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 blah. But I think eventually we just have to come to realize that we exist and we try our best, and it is what it is, you know what I mean? You just do what you can that is best for you, and sometimes, there is no sleep schedule. Hannah's got the right idea. I mean, really, like, people, I remember, if you ever listen to, like, Jordan Peterson, he makes a good point where he talks about pretty much if there's anything you want to do, you just have to do it in repetition. So, like, but sometimes the best way to achieve a good sleep schedule in regards to repetition is to have a job, you know what I mean, that requires you to wake up in the morning. And then after years and years of doing that job, eventually your body is just more used to like when you wake up as opposed to when you go to sleep, you know what I mean? Oh, Monica, you actually found me through Spotify. Yeah, I know. Yeah, sleep is just way too good. And for me, it's like sometimes I would go to bed, like I would try to get back to my normal, and I know that it would just take me a long time to get there. But say I'd fall asleep at 11, like I feel like I'd always wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, which it just is not that great, you know what I mean? And whereas opposed when I stay up till like 6, which is probably what I'll end up doing after this from editing and just being online and stuff like that, and just my normal rhythm from working years of night shift. You found me on OnlyFans. That's where I hope most people would. It's my only way where I get like a lot of sleep, like a really good amount of sleep that actually. A stinker boy, what's up, Avery? You got censored by YouTube calling me a stinker boy. Careful, them bad words around here. Deer Slayer, hello. I'm glad you caught it. If you go to bed early, you wake up several times during sleep. Yeah, it's weird. It's like I almost feel like I basically would have to have a day job, which With YouTube, I do not, you know what I mean? Which thankfully, thank you guys for supporting me in this endeavor. I do appreciate it. Censoring the truth that I'm stinky. No one can know that. No one can find out the truth of how stinky I truly am. Nikki Newman with the 2 says, hey you, hey Nikki. Thank you for the 2. Hello from down in South Texas. Hello, howdy, as they say. That's one word that I do know how to pronounce. I'm getting better with my Fry's getting better with his Spanish. My Spanish is still poopy poop. Of course, I only ever practice it once every couple stories. Am I married? I'm not married now. Maybe sometimes I think like that would probably get me on the right direction to be like married and I don't know, having a normal life like that, you know. But whenever you don't, and no kids or anything, you know, it just makes it difficult. I'm married to Pradeep, yes. Me and my cat have a bond that cannot be broken, legally speaking. Raven Westnidge with the 5 says, forgot to say, you read my story on Childhood Memories, the last story about the stuffed lion and the Rottweiler, Damien. Nice. Nice, I'm glad you were able to get your story involved in that. Thank you for submitting it to the subreddit. I hope anybody else who has a story can submit theirs and hear it on a future video. Marriage is overrated anyways. Yeah, there is really no normal, you know what I mean? He volunteers tribute. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, what is marriage? I don't even know what it is. I feel like a lot of people want to jump into it right out the gate, but it seems like a pretty big commitment, you know? Just imagine, maybe just imagine one of your friends, you know? Like one of your really good friends, and take away the whole sex part or whatever else is involved in marriage, and you know, just imagine yourself spending pretty much all of your time forever with somebody. Can you do it? Or would you throw yourself off of a cliff? I don't know. I think it's possible. I think you really have to have a lot of like similar goals in mind for your life that you should probably discuss before you jump into that. Michelle Bell with the 2. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for the 2. Also, does it make notification sounds? My notifications haven't been going off for some reason, which is weird. I guess as long as I can see them. Oh wait, yeah, there it goes. Sorry, it's like a delay. I mean, it normally does have a delay, but last time it didn't make a notification for subscribers, or like for memberships, which was a bit weird. Also, I was going to include the new music today that I got, but everything I do is just on the whim of a fly's bullshit, if you catch my drift. I feel like everything I do is just last minute, and I am unable to manage my time. So I knew that if I were to try and organize all the tracks that I had for that I wanted to show you guys that someone made for me, some custom lo-fi beats, I knew it was going to take me probably even another hour to get those organized, and maybe I'll even do it after this. I won't even play any video games later. I'll just do some straight up work. Hey, Laura with the 2 says, hey Joel, Pat Pradeep for me. How you doing? I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Pretty much my life consists of just recording for you guys and going to the gym. As you guys know, my life is relatively boring, but you guys make it exciting for me. Give me something to talk about. Kyle, you got a question? Yep, just ask it. No holds bar. Ask whatever you'd like. Do not mind. That guy, AJ style, Baller Klube, Balaker Lube, I don't know how to pronounce it. With the 2, no, with the 3 Canadian. With that 1 up. Thank you. Thank you for the Canadian maple syrup doll hairs. Eternally yours. You woke up to this notification. You are still in bed. You are still asleep. This is all a dream, 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 dream. This is a cool beat. I like this. I don't know how loud it is for you guys. Is this my full-time job? It is. This is what I've devoted my existence to for the past 5 years, and it's yeah, devoted my get mad at Overwatch pretty much. Yeah, Overwatch has taken a large mental toll on my existence, but yeah, this is me. This is the direction I've chosen to go in life. I'm thankful for it because it's I don't know, it's much better than wiping asses for a living, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. That was a good job too, you know. What I got for you today? Yes, so we got 10 stories from Reddit. Let's not meet. So some true scary stories. I'm thinking about doing more paranormal stories. I got a lot of those lined up that you guys have either sent in. I mean, I try to squeak them in towards the end of subscriber stories, but you know, they don't always get very good reception. And as far as doing just paranormal stories for a video, sometimes it, like I've said before, it kind of hurts the channel, you know what I mean? So it's so hard to like know when is a good time to do that, because I'll be getting like good momentum moving forward, and yeah, just do a paranormal video and like about half the people are like interested in it. But IDK, yeah, 10 stories starting at midnight. I did 10 this time because the first one's pretty long, but like there's a bunch in between that are relatively shorter than most. So I was like, well, I don't want to like skimp on it, and then people get pissed because they're like, well, that was bullshit. I want more. I want more. Let's read. I want more. Kyle Bachman says, I have a question. I haven't seen my son's mom since he was 10 days old. I have my son, but like out of the blue, she calls me. Haven't talked to her since December 16th, 2013. So that son's like gonna be 7 here. And she tells me she misses him and me. Huh. Yikes. Well, I feel like there's some more context to that to like kind of unpack, but that's one of those tough decisions where I would probably discuss that with your family, you know, if she's a, you know, if that's a wise choice to make, especially if there were sort of like negative consequences that led to that direction she chose for her life, you know what I mean? But you know, thank God that you stuck around for your son. You know, every kid needs a parent, at least one. And yeah, that's a tough question. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on that, but basically, I mean, if you're able to like vet whether or not she would be a good candidate to see your kid again, that's good. But outside of any sort of legal ramifications, that ball is in your court, it would appear. So definitely I would discuss that with, you know, the kid's grandparents and all that kind of stuff. It's a tough one. Seb, you want to be friends? I think we're all friends here. Joel, all facts, no printer. I mean, yeah, you just have to be wise about those kind of choices, because if she decides to go down whatever dark path led her away from her kid in the first place, again, you know, and then potentially splits the family as well through like legal proceedings that where she doesn't want to be with you, but she wants to have custody of the kids every so often, a weekend or something. I feel like that could cause, I don't know. It depends, you know. It's just weird that it's like 7 years later then this pops up. It's just kind of random, but definitely, yeah, take your time and meditate on that one and discuss it with maybe even a lawyer to a degree, because it could get messy. Roman with the 2 says, "Sire, please, I don't have any more shillings." Oh no, that's okay, Roman. Thank you so much for your 2. You do not, nobody, yeah, guys, do not feel obligated to donate. I just I'm gonna be recording anyway, so I figured might as well have some fun with you guys while we do it. Thank you so much, Roman. Sire, my shillings. Venus Flytrap with the 5 says, "I'm ready for spoopy, been needing this all day." Yeah, I wish I oh, it's just you and your son. Dang. Yeah, that's, well, if there's no family above you, like grandparents or anything, that is really difficult. It's just, I would maybe potentially talk to a lawyer first. I don't know if that's even possible for consulting, because that can get expensive. But definitely, maybe even like go on Reddit where it says like ask a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like if they have specific things on Reddit related to custody lawyers, you could ask questions on there for some counseling related to that. Just because you don't want to like put yourself in a position that could end up, I don't know, losing further presence of your son in your life, which it's hard, man. I'm sorry to hear about that. Yeah, exactly. And the child's feelings are very important in that too, because they obviously are looking for a motherly figure in their life, and if the one that was initially there from the beginning decides to kind of take off again in whatever direction they, I don't know the context, you know what I mean? But if they decide to take off again, it could be precarious for their psychological outcomes, you know. You want to shout out my friends over and listen live. Alexander Dart, what's up? Liz donates her soul, thank you. We'll put that in the pocket. Souls and dollars. Mr. Scumbag with the 2 says, "Thanks for putting me to sleep at night." You're welcome, Mr. Scumbag. It almost seems like it takes the opposite of a scumbag to donate, so thank you so much. You are not that. Queef 1 time or more for early excess. But yeah, guys, any advice on moving out? Well, get a job. Yeah, definitely get a job if you can, obviously. Well, that's going to be the number one thing pretty much, is get a job and start saving up money, and you know, figure out that you're going to need a deposit for probably like initial, like maybe a deposit, like a security deposit could be a couple $100. The first month of rent could be, you know, maybe even $1,000 depending on where the rent is. Figure out if you're moving in with friends or something like that, and you know, pretty much go searching. I don't know if anybody does it on Craigslist. I'd probably avoid Craigslist, but just make sure you got some financial padding before you throw yourself out of your parents' house or wherever you're at, because Weston says about $3,000. Yeah, that sounds about right, honestly. Like enough to cover the security deposit and rent, and then the rest to kind of like in case there's any emergencies or anything like that. It's tough, but once you get out there, you'll enjoy your sense of independence, you know. Hey, Daddy. Merry Christmas, Tina. Yes, guys, there will be two Christmas videos this year, so you guys can look forward to that. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be sick nasty. Well, guys, thank you again for being here. Almost about 350 of y'all have arrived. Click that like button if you would be so inclined. We appreciate it. Click the notification bell to be alerted of new stuff. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join the Discord too for the fully rounded experience of interacting with chat 24/7 and make lots of internet friends. But yeah, we're going to kick this off. Like I said, we got 10 Reddit stories to bang through. Bang, 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 bang. Bang them out. And yeah, like I said, if you got one, submit it to reddit.com/r/letsreadofficial or go to letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com. And Avery Turner, thank you for the 2. Says have to work at 7, but here's some shmoney, big man. Thank you, Avery. Oh my goodness, you need to get some sleep, good sir. Follow my voice to Dreamland. And Thomas S. with the 5 says, I finally made it to a live first in so long. Well, welcome back, Thomas. Thanks for being here, and thank you so much for the 5-er. I've been trying to switch up the times a little bit. What's Joel's Insta? Yeah, so everything you could possibly want as far as links go are in the description in every video or down below of this video. But Instagram is at letsread.official and Twitter is at letsread. No, yeah, at letsreadcreepy. Sorry, I like space there, but Twitter's sometimes the best too, because like I can actually post links on Twitter, whereas Instagram's a little bit more complicated because you got to do everything through your phone, and it's annoying sometimes. Do I see narrating audiobooks as a side endeavor? I do, but it takes so much time to devote towards that like sometimes I feel that I wouldn't be able to keep up with my YouTube schedule, my normal life, and reading audiobooks on the side. So that's always kind of tough. You're scared of Twitter, aren't we all? Twitter will chew us to pieces in an instant if you don't say the right thing. Anthony Esposito, my man, with the 2 says, Daddy's here. Daddy has arrived. Thank you for the 2, Daddy. All right. Let us venture into spooky land. Please hold my hand. It's gonna get creepy. What's everyone's favorite number? I've talked about that before, but I feel like there's certain numbers that I avoid, and I don't know why. Like when I'm scrolling to put my volume on, like whenever I'm playing like the chill hop stuff, I have it at 8 because it's a little bit louder, but when I play this dark ambient stuff, I put it at like 22, and for some reason I avoid the number 23. It makes no fucking sense, but I do it, and it makes no sense. I think I mentioned this before, but my one friend, he specifically could not have his radio volume set to an odd number. Like it just weirded him out, so he always had to have it on an even number, which I thought was kind of weird. You guys like 7, a lot of 7s. He like 3, it's so cute and small. You want some luck on your exams? Everybody wish I like bread some luck. Pray the luck upon him. Alec likes the demon number. Miss Molly with the 5 says, Jolie, I missed you. How are you doing? And my favorite number is 7. I don't know why, it just is. 7 is lucky. 7's like a holy number, I believe, in like some of the old like biblical writings and stuff from what I remember. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. I thought it was like 7. Definitely there's a lot of numerology present in like old religious writings, specifically the Bible. I don't know if anybody's more familiar with that, but I always thought that was really weird. There's some like really, really strange numerology pertaining to like pi And like it was really strange. Like if you look into the numerology of like the first 5 books of the Bible, the way that they're able to, like, the way that it accomplishes whatever that numerology was is really fucking strange. Like really, really kind of creepily weird, you know what I mean? But JR with the buckaroony giving me an orange. Thank you, good sir or madam. Appreciate it. But we're going to kick off with this first story. Yeah. Gematria. Yeah, Gematria. What the hell is Gematria? I've heard of that a lot. The opposite side of dice always add up to 7. Fun fact. Interesting. That is weird. I wonder if that's planned. Adam Groff, what's up, my dude? How is life? It's good to see you. Anthony Esposito with the 5 says, 4. Favorite number is 4. Reason, when I competitively swam, I would always break record in lane 4. Also, there's a lane 4 swimwear. Oh. I wonder if everyone's experienced that type of luck, perhaps. Well, thank you for the 5. And thank you for the 4 for being so lucky. That is interesting. Yeah, once you kind of like... I feel like humans are kind of really drawn to numerology in a lot of ways. Topic of the stories, we got Reddit stories, baby. True scary ones. Back to the basics. Alright, we're going to kick this off here. 10 stories. Let's get it. This story happened more than 10 years ago, when I was still a student. A bit of backstory. As with most students, I was always broke, and had a few ventures apart from my part-time job to bring me extra... Sorry. Potato asked a good question. What was that? I missed it. Someone has to keep track of mistakes. I just like... maybe I have to gargle. Probably have to do a good gargle. Animal Planet narrator, that'd be fun. Welcome back to Animal Planet. Today, we're gonna watch elephants play with a little ball. It's cute. As with most students, I was always broke, and had a few ventures apart from my part-time job to bring me extra money. One of them was house and pet sit. There's so many stupid little things to be like contemplative related to narrating. Not that anybody gives a shit, but it's just like random stuff like as you're talking, sometimes you just choke on your own spit. Sometimes your like lips will be dry that like fuck up like the flow of the words. All that good stuff. I try not to make too many mistakes for you guys, but it's an inevitability here, and sometimes I'm off to like 9 in a row. One of them was house and pet sitting. I've always had a love for animals, so when this couple contacted me to ask to house sit them for the last few days before they returned from their overseas trip, sorry, this is like a long-ass sentence. I've always had a love for animals, so when this couple contacted me to ask to house sit for them for the last few days before they returned from their overseas trip, as the last sitter had bailed on them, their 6-month-old golden retriever puppy would be alone, I jumped at the opportunity. The fact that they promised to pay me the full 2-week fee for staying there less than a week made it just more appealing. Little did I know how bad it would turn out. I got the details, got the keys from the agent, and headed over to the house as it was already after 5 p.m. and almost dark, as it was early spring. I got to the house, which was a really nice place, but it bordered on not such a good area that was and still is prone to crime. house break-ins, robberies, etc. It didn't bother me much, because, nothing will happen to me. I know, young and naive. The first 4 nights went out without a hitch. Went without a hitch. The first 4 nights went without a hitch. Watching movies, jacuzzi, and just generally enjoying myself. The owners would have returned on the 5th day fairly late at night. I went over to check on the doggo. I got a call from them at about 10 p.m. saying their flight got delayed. They're going to stay in a hotel and do the 3.5-hour drive back the following morning, and asked if I could sleep there again that night, which was fine. I was already there and had my overnight bag still in my car. I called my dad to let him know of my plans, as I was still staying with my parents, and he specifically asked what the address was. I normally didn't give them details like that because I was old enough to look after myself, I thought. I still believe to this day that probably saved my life. I eventually got to bed at 1 a.m. and it felt like I had only slept 5 minutes when I was awoken to a window breaking, and I could hear movement and what sounded like footsteps running down the hall. The first thing I did was grab my phone and just hit redial, thanks to my old Motorola phone. Motorola. My Motorola phone. These aren't directly from my subreddit, but these are ones that we had gotten permission from the Let's Not Meet community. Submitters on there. Submitters. Submit to me. The first thing I did was grab my phone and just hit redial. Thanks to my old Motorola phone, redialing was as simple as pressing one button, as my dad was the last number that I had called, hoping that he wakes up from the call. I then dropped the phone in between the headboard and mattress in case my dad picks up that he can hear what is going on. I had barely done that when the first guy stormed through the bedroom door. I could see his silhouette, and he had a knife in his hand. When he saw me, he raised it and came at me. Now, one thing to those that are... Whoops. Oh, this is in South Africa. Interesting. Motorona. I think the cool thing about this chat is, like, sometimes I'll be on other streamers' chats, like, there's like, Twitch chat. You guys ever go on Twitch much? Hey, thank you, Kyle. I'll definitely try to check that out if I get some time. But I'll be on Twitch chat, and I feel like a lot of the times the chat is just like reactive, which is cool, but at the same time, like, they don't really interact with each other, and if they do, it's like more argumentative. But I feel like you guys actually interact with each other, which is pretty neat. But pretty neat. Blech. Okay, sorry. Now, one thing to those that are unfamiliar with South Africa and the crime is that robberies and house invasions usually are very brutal and violent. People get murdered or tortured if they are in the slightest... People get murdered or tortured if they in the slightest retaliate or don't cooperate with the robbers. Out of instinct, I raised my legs back when he came at me, and when he came within reach, I kick both legs out as hard as I can. Now, I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'3", and at that stage, I weighed about 100 kilograms or 220 pounds, and I was fit and strong. My time not spent at the university or work was at the gym. I could do an easy 250-pound bench, 350,000. Get burped on. When did this start? This started 35 minutes ago. Welcome, welcome. Be sure to let those know who don't know that the stream has started, and they better get in here. I could do an easy 250-pound bench, 350-pound squat. When I kicked and made contact with the guy, he completely lifted off the ground and shot into the wall. Luckily, the knife shot out of his hand as well. Before he got the chance to get up, I was on top of him, driving my right knee into his face and in return his head into the wall. I knew that my life depended on it, so I put in some extra force. The guy dropped like a sack of potatoes. But before I could get up, I heard the sound of a pistol cock and I froze. It felt like all the blood drained from my body and I became just numb. I remember the only thing that went through my head was that if he shot me, that I would rather die than be disabled or dependent on other people that will have to take care of me. He stood like that with the pistol against my head for what felt like hours, but was probably less than 10 seconds. I didn't move, and he eventually said in very broken English to get on the bed, face down. I panicked, but thought that if he wanted to shoot me that he already would have done so. So I did as he said. He threw a blanket over me, and I turned into a fetal position with my back against the wall, just so that if they wanted to stab me, that I'd have my legs and arms in front to protect my body. Now by that time I had forgotten that I had called my dad, and the guy that I had kneed is still down. I heard a third guy come into the room, and I could hear what sounded like Portuguese to me. I couldn't understand what they said, but I recognized it as we used to go to Mozambique on holiday a lot, and that is the main language spoken there. The one dry. Dude, this is pretty intense already. I didn't expect this, honestly. Weston's queefing in the chat. Take the doggo and run. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it came fast. Like they actually had the intentions of finding the person in there to... Like they had it all planned out or some shit. Is it nighttime for everyone? Is it? It is for me. It's after midnight. Don't feed your gremlin, bros. Bros and sistos. The one guy tried to get the guy that I put down off the ground while... Oops. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I finished the lesson. Main language spoken there. The one guy tried to get the guy that I put down off the ground while the other started to ransack the house, shoving valuables into a huge bag. It was about this time that I heard tires screeching and a car approaching at what sounded like Mach 1. The car skidded to a halt right in front of the gate, and I heard someone scream. It was my dad. The three inside the house panicked and ran out of the back door and tried to jump the fence. My dad opened fire, shooting in their general direction. Now, I know my dad missed them on purpose, because if he wanted to hit them, he would, as he is not one of, but the best shot that I know. What is it? Hit them, as he is not one of, but, oh, okay. Now, I know my dad missed them on purpose, because if he wanted to hit them, he would, as he is, I don't know why this sounds so weird to me, as he is not one of, but the best. He's not, maybe not just one of, but yeah, that's what I should say. Just sounded like strange. SoCal. I met a guy at the gym today that was from SoCal. That was kind of interesting. Well, actually, not interesting, because that's all he told me, but I was like, cool, dude, it's probably warm there, man. Now, I know my dad missed them on purpose, because if he wanted to hit them, he would, as he's not just one of, but the best shot that I know. And I'm not just saying that because he's my dad. He is an ex-Army Special Forces, or Rex for those in the know, represented in South... He is ex-Special Forces, represented in South Africa in the Clay Pigeon World Championships a couple of years ago, has various regional pistol and rifle championship titles, and is a gunsmith by occupation. I have seen him hit golf balls at 50 meters with his pistol. Politics and the racial situation in this country have had him in a big Politics and the racial situation in this country would have had him in big trouble if he had hit one of them. Oh, interesting. Maybe I'll just skip that line. I don't want people to get political in the chat. Or not just the chat, but the comments, etc., etc. I have seen him hit golf balls at 50 meters with his pistol. I grabbed the house keys and pressed the gate remote, and my dad called the police while I came in. I met him at the front door, and we walked out to the car to wait there for the police. It took them over an hour to get there, some excuse of no vehicle available. By that time, I had calmed down and started to look for the dog. I couldn't find her anywhere. I grabbed a flashlight from my dad and started scanning the surrounding yard, and as I got to the corner, I could see her laying on the ground. I got to her and saw that she had passed away. Later autopsies revealed that she would whoops. Fuck. Starting out with a dog story is probably the worst decision because everyone seems to always get really upset. They're like, "You son of a bitch, you should have warned me!" I've seen him hit golf balls with his pee-pee from 50 meters away. Later autopsies revealed that she was poisoned, and the police found pieces of meat laced with poison near the fence. Poisoning is pretty standard practice in my country for dealing with dogs at a house or area that is targeted for a break-in or robbery. I was fuming, and so sad. The police were also pretty useless and had a don't-care attitude and barely took our statements. By that time, it was starting to get light, and I retrieved my bag, phone, and locked the house as good as I can without touching anything, and drove home behind my father. Only when I got home, sorry. Only when I got home, I got the story from my dad's side. He said he answered my call, only to hear the shouting and what sounded like fighting going on, and when I didn't respond, he flew out of the house and raced over. Luckily, he asked for the address the previous night, and he knew the area well enough to know exactly which house it was. Now, my dad got there pretty quickly, and he said he stayed on the line the whole time, only hanging up when he stopped at the gate. My parents' house is about 10 kilometers or 6 miles from there, through a residential area. It normally took about 20 minutes of a drive, and the call duration was 7 minutes and 13 seconds. I met the detective there later that day, gave my statement, they took fingerprints, etc., and the owners got back about the same time. And the rest of the day was a blur as I came down from the shock and adrenaline. Now, that is not where the story ends. About 7 or 8 months later, I got a call from the detective telling me they caught the guys, and I must come to a lineup to point them out. I specifically told her that I didn't see any of their faces as it was dark, and after the guy held the gun against my head, I was under the blanket and didn't see anything. She assured me that they caught them on fingerprints and will show them to me beforehand, which might not be the ethically. You see kitties in your neighborhood and you scare them on purpose. What? Do you make scary faces or what do you do? Yeah, dude, it's, I don't know. Freaking, I don't even know. It's scary shit out there sometimes. Victoria, what up? Welcome, welcome. Which night? Which might not be the ethically correct way to do it, but they wanted to have as much evidence as possible against them, and you will understand why in a minute. I got to the police station, and unlike you see in the movies, there is no way... Fuck, dude, I suck. I got to the police station, and unlike you see in the movies, there is no one-way glass or separation room. They bring the 3 guys into the room and make them stand against the wall. The one, which I was later told was the leader, which was the one that I had need... Oh, fuck. He's gonna have to look at... See, that seems a little dangerous, like bringing up like a witness lineup and then letting them see you, you know? Like, is that not like the worst idea ever? Is that what's happening right now? The one, which I was later told was the leader, which was the one that I had need, looked at me with so much hate as I had never seen in my life. He had the eyes of someone that would slit your throat and not blink an eye. His name was Joseph Dragon Sambo. He pulled his hand up to his neck and made the slit my throat gesture. You know which one I mean. We left the room and the detective gave me a copy of his rap sheet. Amongst others, 4 counts of murder, I think 8 to 9 for attempted murder, multiple assaults, aggravated assault, over 100 cases of house break-ins, robbery, and indecent assault against women. I was shocked. The detective told me that had I not taken him out first and fast that night, I would have definitely not gotten away so lightly. Now, this is also not where the story ends. 3 days later, I get another call from the detective saying that I should be careful as he had escaped from custody and they had not caught him yet. I was not worried too much as the robbery wasn't at my house and I had changed cars, so he probably couldn't find me. Also, I got my firearm license and carried my pistol on me 24/7. I didn't hear anything after that until about 2 years later when I saw the detective in the grocery store. Grocery store? I mixed it up because he called it a grocery shop, which is kind of funny. In the grocery shop. Michelle McWeather with the 5 says, "Hi Joel, sorry I'm late, but I'm here." Well, welcome Michelle. No worries, no worries. Thank you so much for the 5 Reno. What's up, Toonami? What up? Dragon Samba. Yeah, that's a scary name. I don't think I would want a guy named Dragon entering my house. He would breathe fire on me. Yeah, honestly, I would feel bad for the people that, like, I was dog sitting for, not just because of the dog, but because now those motherfuckers will be probably coming to their house and, like, asking questions and shit if they're, like, in a gang or whatever. And potentially probably kill you, I guess, because they got what they wanted and now they're moving on. Fuck. Oops, I burped as I was recording. It's like one of those burps where it just like comes up on its own. You know the one I'm talking about. I didn't hear anything after that until about 2 years later when I saw the detective at the grocery store. We started talking about the case and she told me that he was killed during a home invasion. He broke into the wrong house and the owner was waiting for him, pistol in hand, shot him once in the stomach and once in the neck. And thanks to the slow response time of emergency services and police, he bled out on the guy's living room floor, ridding society of a piece of human garbage. I want to add a bit of info to this that all 3 that were caught were Mozambican nationals, undocumented and no fingerprints or ID in the system. Oh, jeez. And it was of opinion that in South Africa that more than 7% of all violent crimes are done, blah, blah, blah. Jeez, this kind of, I don't know, that seems like all opinion for him, so I'm going to leave that out, because it probably pissed a lot of people off. And thanks to the slow response time of emergency services and police, he bled out on the guy's living room floor, ridding society of a piece of human garbage. This is the ambulance. I'm busy. What you want? I'm playing Fortnite, bro. We're gonna send one of the dogs. Ride it. You're gonna ride his back to the fucking hospital. What is the exclamation point? Redeem moo. There it is. You redeemed it. There's tons of stories about the Sambo dude. Really? I don't think I've ever heard one. Well, yeah, this is 911, but it's I don't know if anybody here's from South Africa or not. Like, it could potentially be like, you know, not as good of an infrastructure as where some people are from. As even here in the United States, it's like our 911 services like vary depending on where you exist, you know what I mean? Why you got a slight country accent? I don't know, bro. I guess I'm just a big country. Fart Night did 2020. This is true. This is the truest information you've ever heard. Follow Horny Computer. Yes, if you guys want memes, go to Horny Computer on Instagram. You will not regret it. Thanks, Cody. Good to see you. All right, story 1 complete. Do the Filipino accent? I don't really think... I worked with Filipinos for a while. The one guy... How did he talk? He was like... Yeah, you'd always say the Philippines. You'd always call it the Philippines instead of the Philippines, which I thought was funny. It was like F's were pronounced like B's, which was cute. He was a good guy. He really liked Marvel. Oh, and he fucking loved LeBron James. Like, he loved LeBron James. That was like his favorite person in the world. Do you have any hashtag redeem options in your chat? You know, I don't even know if YouTube does that, to be honest with you. I don't even know if YouTube has like command prompts. I think you might have to like add a bot or something, but what language do I speak? I only know English. Everything else has to go through Google Translate for me. I don't know shit. You're from Tennessee, and we say, bless your heart. Yeah, I remember I worked with a girl from Tennessee, and we called her Tennessee, but she was funny. She was really nice, but she did not give a fuck, and she would just be like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, yeah, she'd always say, that motherfucker. That son of a bitchin' motherfucker in there always just shit himself again. She was funny. Actually, it was kind of sad when she left the floor because, I don't know, there's like certain personalities that like, even if they're not like the greatest workers, just like their personality like makes work way more fun. Do I know pig Latin? I don't. Is that what language is that? Lila, Joel be ignoring me. What did you say, Lila? Lila. Yeah, I kicked the trash can. Joel, guess what? Oh, I see. Joel, guess what? What's up? I didn't see it. Sorry. Sometimes I'd be looking elsewhere. You feel? You called her Tennessee. Yeah, I mean everybody called her Tennessee. That she doesn't give a shit. She thought it was funny. You just heard a noise downstairs and your heart is beating so hard. Cassidy, get your baseball bat ready. We're going to combat. Joel fluent in hentai, yeah. That's my native tongue. I speak in tentacles. Okay. What am I looking at? Just the story that I'm reading, my dude. My Spanish pronunciation is good. Thank you. Yeah, with the help of this chat and my beautiful community here, you guys have helped me pronounce many a Spanish word. Because I'll try it at first and then I just like completely butcher it. I put a blindfold on when I look at chat. Yeah, I'm just gonna guess what you guys say. Something about daddy and thirsty. I don't know. All right. Let's go to story number 2. What was this? I'd like to preface this by saying I was young and drunk for most of this, so sweet. We're off to a good start. Oh, Lila says, just want to say I love you. Also, never do a stream at 8:40 in the morning again. That puts a bit of a burden on the mod team, who tend to be night owls, similar to my stuff. I speak Spanish. No, I don't speak Spanish, but like whenever people put Spanish words or terms or different stuff like that in the stories, I usually have to ask you guys how to do it or look it up because I don't want to sound like an ignoramus. Something about that, Liz. You guys always talking about that one. I was 20 years old, a female at an anime convention. My 21st birthday was coming up a month later, so my roommates decided to let me get completely wasted as long as I stayed in the room or left with someone I trusted. I was staying with a large group of people in one of their nicer hotel rooms there. I had been to quite a lot of conventions and never really had a bad experience outside of a few cosplay creepers and terrible people at times. The weekend went pretty normal, except I was drunk and my group was throwing small parties on the night of a particularly not so fun one. Whoops. I think that was the start of a new sentence, but it was like a comma, so it was like confusing. Daddy sauce, what up? Now everybody's speaking Spanish. Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes people say like you got to put like a warning in the stories, but yeah, if you hear something you don't like in the story, that's why I put the timestamps on there. So feel free to, click them timestamps and skip to the next one. No worries. You were listening to the Cyberpunk playlist, and I heard Grimes on there. Oh, is she gonna be in the new? Her and Keanu are gonna be in the new Cyberpunk game. I wouldn't be surprised. I saw she was meeting with like Blizzard at one point. I thought that was kind of neat. I would love to play Overwatch with Grimes one time. I wonder if she sucks. Cause I'll fucking headshot her, bro. Rebecca, you're gonna get the Hunt a Killer game. Nice. Yeah, I hope that I try to make the hunt, like the advertisements that go on the channel like interesting. And I guess obviously you can skip over them if you're not interested, but yeah, that Hunt a Killer one looks pretty sick and is cool. So the weekend went pretty normal, except I was drunk and my group was throwing small parties. On the night of a particularly not so fun one, I decided to drunkenly leave the room and go roam around the main lobby. And this was when I met Steven. I have no idea how old Steven was, but he was at least an adult, maybe a little older than me. We ran into each other at a manga table, and he mentioned how he loved manga that I was Oh. Am I pronouncing it right? Manga? Well, like, I do like Grimes, and I like her, well, I like most of her music, like, or I wouldn't even say most of it, but there's a few select ones that, like, really stick with me that I fucking love. I would say probably at least, like, 5-6 songs of hers, which I think is, like, a pretty good, like, especially for a mainstream artist, like, if you can like 5 or 6 of their songs, that's, like, a pretty decent success in my book. But from what I've heard, if you try to, like, collaborate with her, it's Mango, yeah. I love mangoes. But if you try to collaborate with her, I guess she's kind of like a control freak. I don't know if you guys have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Have you seen this? But it is kind of funny because I feel like her and, what's his name? Elon Musk. I feel like her and Elon Musk are like the complete opposite spectrum of, like, people. Yeah, let me see. How do you say mango? I mean manga.
Manga.
Manga. Manga. You think she slaps her boyfriend? Yikes. She's got some long nails. It would make for some good back scratches. Elon is Space Daddy. And she named her kid XAE69. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It sounds like dial-up internet starting when you pronounce it. We ran into each other at a manga table, and he mentioned how he loved the manga that I was holding. I didn't really read manga and just liked the artwork. I'm an anime Andy, so to speak, but I still listen to him gush about the story for a few because whatever he seems nice enough. I didn't say much to him outside of, and yeah, that sounds really cool. I thanked him for the info and walked away. After an hour or so of roaming around, I decided to head back to... Shite. After about an hour or so of roaming around, I decided to head back up to my room. Back in my room, I had taken 2 shots with my roomies and was laying on the couch when we got a knock on the door. The music and talking quieted down, as it was customary to shush when someone knocked in case of con security coming to shut down our party. That's when my roommate who answered the door said, "Veronica? Yeah, she's here. Come on in." Followed by silence, and then my roommate calling my name and telling me, "Hey, someone's here for you." Now, 2 things drunk me didn't think about were the fact that I didn't tell Stephen my name. Our interaction lasted 5 minutes max, and I gave no information to him. On top of that, my name is more complicated and hard to pronounce, but maybe I assumed he just described me and my roommate knew who he was talking about. But I didn't give him my room number, nor were we Sorry, this is a weird sentence here. But I didn't give him my room number. No, we were several floors up in the suites area. You'd have to take... Oh, I see. Weston's got a mustachio. Are you still letting it grow, Weston? Grimes hates Poppy. I love Poppy. Yeah, Poppy is cool. I feel bad for Poppy. I watched a little documentary about her, and she seems to have been very heavily manipulated by her first manager. I don't know if you guys remember that. And then she was like kind of like this mysterious kind of character that she played, and she always kind of had to exist in that character all the time, and was heavily pushed by whoever her manager was to do that. And it was also like this abusive relationship. It was pretty bad, you know. I think she's in a better place in her life now. I don't know that for certain, but it was pretty sad to kind of hear about. We're getting into some slapping business. Uh-oh. If you slap someone with a beard, does it count? I don't think they'd feel it. Mine's pretty thick. But I didn't give him my room number. We were several floors up in the suites area. You'd have to take a different elevator to get to the room than you would to get to a standard hotel room. I definitely didn't think about that, though. I walked to the door, and Stephen was smiling. He asked me to go for a walk with him, and I drunkenly said yes. I mean, he's just an awkward anime dude who just wanted a friend to hang out with. Or so I thought. Dude, there's a little bug here. What the fuck? It's like a little fucking fruit fly, like, flew past my face and totally fucked up my recording. Who sent that fruit fly? Did someone conjure that shit up? Maybe it came out of my nose. I didn't even realize it. Perhaps out of my beard. And drunkenly I said yes. I mean, we were walking and he was... Oh. Okay. Beard collab. Fry, you're gonna draw both of our beards. Naked beards. Punch the fruit fly. Come here, I'll punch you in the face. Bah, bah, bah. It's weird though if you think about it. Do you ever like punch, like if you get a chance to punch a bug that's coming at you, you've like punched it, right? But I feel like it doesn't take any damage. Like I honestly feel like the fruit, like if I punched a fruit fly that was flying at me, I feel like it wouldn't even feel it. Like there's something about like the aerodynamics of the fruit fly and, you know, me being colossal compared to it, that it just like flows with the airflow of my punch, and it's just like, not today, loser. And then it just like dives into my eyeball. Fruit fly, don't bother me. You threw a rag at a spider. What you gotta do is throw bologna. Like if you have a slice of bologna, just launch that at a spider. It won't be able to get away. I walked to the door and Stephen was smiling. He asked me to go for a walk with him, and I drunkenly said yes. I mean, he's just an awkward anime dude who just wanted a friend to hang out with. Or so I thought. We were walking, and he was talking to me about how he recently was watching an anime where the protagonist wouldn't stop killing the girl he liked. I've since Googled that anime plot and have not been able to find one similar to what he was talking about outside of some yandere anime. I got a little creeped out as the hall was empty and we were walking with no plan of where we were going. He then began to talk about his favorite serial killers, how He was a huge crime junkie, and how he followed a lot of cases. A big red flag went off in my head, and I decided it was time to try to go back to my room. But then he stopped walking and stared at me. "I know a really cool spot we can go. If you take the staff elevator, you can go all the way to the top of the hotel. It's really pretty." He was suddenly breathing a little oddly, and his hands were shaking. I said no, as I had some sense left in my head. He then grabbed my arm as hard as he could and started pulling me, yanking me towards the staff doors. I pulled back, asking him to stop, and he told me to just be quiet. I yanked free of him and started running. He chased after me, telling me to stop. I was nearly in tears and wondering why the hallways were so empty as the bleh. I like moths. I actually do like moths a lot. I think I like moths more than I like butterflies. Like, something about butterflies are kind of crinkly and gross. I mean, they're not gross, but they're just crinkly and like bug-like. And but moths are like soft, and I feel like when they land on you, you can like, I don't know, they're just cooler, in my opinion, or a lot more. They're a lot more approachable. They're a lot more family friendly. I don't know. I said no. I was nearly into. Oh yeah, okay. You hate butterflies. Yeah, the fuzzy moths, they're cool, you know, like, and I don't know, they're usually like a lot more chill about stuff, even though I remember my one friend literally had a phobia of them, and I asked him why he has the phobia, and he says that they have erratic flight patterns, and I was like, man, that's very hyper specific. So like when he wasn't looking, I like had a moth in my hand and I threw it at his face. He didn't like that, but it was. They're pretty cool, you know what I mean? Also, I don't know, did you ever see those, like, those not moths, they're butterflies in the summer, but they're those, like, little white ones. They're real small, and they're these little white ones that are usually in twos, and they're, like, flying around each other, you know what I mean? And I always thought that those are fucking cool as shit, like, because sometimes, like, they'll even come near you and, like, flutter around you, and make you feel like you're in some sort of, like, World of Warcraft, you know, spell. I was nearly in tears and wondering why the hallways were so empty at the one of the okay. I was nearly in tears and wondering why the hallways were so empty at one of the most crowded cons I'd ever went to. When I finally ran into a group of girls, they saw the fear on my face and immediately pulled me into their group, asking me about my hair and makeup, wrapping their arms around me. I was crying, telling them what was happening, and when I looked back, Stephen was gone. I didn't see him for the rest of the con, but I stopped being so friendly at cons because of him. I would also like to say Stephen is the name I gave him. I never got his name personally. I told con security about him, and my roommates and friends used the buddy system with me for the rest of the convention. I truly, honestly believed, based on what he said and the way that he acted when I tried to get away, that he was planning to take me to that beautiful view and push me off. And jerk me off, sorry. Larvae, we are the bitten by ladybug gang now. Oh, you got bit by a lady? Oh, ladybug. You bit by a ladybug? Jeez. Also, it's funny, like, I feel like every, like, light fixture is, or, you know, do you ever go to your, like, grandparents' house and, like, every one of their lights are just, like, full of, like, dead ladybugs from, like, 1930. Ladybugs that saw, like, the Great Depression. Ladybugs that fought in the Korean War and shit like that. Praying mantises. Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever pick up a praying mantis. My one buddy's daughter is obsessed with bugs. And I admire her for it because she just, like, loves bugs and shit like that. But you know, she had, like, cockroaches for a while. It was real creepy. Will you marry me? Also, good night. Well, if you fall asleep, you'll never know the answer, the answer, the answer. You get a dog named Ladybug. Ticks all over. Oh, shit, that sucks. Yeah, ticks fucking suck. Ticks are definitely the worst bug of all time. You got bit by a fish when you were swimming. Jeez, everything bites. What the hell's wrong with everything? What's my fave bug? Yeah, definitely the moth. But, I mean, I love lightning bugs too, because I think just because since I was a kid, I could handle them. You know, I could pick them up and they wouldn't do anything. They would just like hang out for a little bit till they went to the tip of your finger and then flew away in very cinematic fashion. Are ladybugs male? I think they're all ladies. Very distinguished ladies. Oh, Vix, you're counting mistakes. Yeah, we need somebody to keep track. You'd rather have ticks than bed bugs. I don't know. I feel like ticks, it just depends on how long. Like a tick or like a bed bug infestation. I don't even know. A friend of mine who works like dealing with bed bugs and stuff like that says that if you go to a hotel, it's smart to like keep your luggage inside the bathtub. I don't know if anybody has never heard of that before, but you keep your luggage inside the bathtub, and then I don't know, the bed bugs can't get to it because it's like, you know, you're keeping it in there. Monica, you're dying. Why are you dying? There's no bugs in Las Vegas? Nice, dude. They've all lost a bet and now they're dead. What reptile you guys like? I'm not a big reptile guy, to be honest with you. Don't trust them a whole lot. You spent $1,200 to get rid of bed bugs? Yikes, yeah. Gets expensive. What a business. I was 19, I'm now 22, and I worked in the mall in my town. My town is relatively calm, never have any major crimes committed, but the city that's about 15 minutes out used to have the highest murder rates in Canada. The mall I worked in was pretty small. The usual type of customers were moms with their kids or older people just trying to pass the time. Not a sketchy type of mall at all, and very safe to work at. One day I was on my break and I went to the food court to get a drink and sit down and just browse my phone as usual. I noticed two women walking towards me, and my first instinct was they saw my uniform and they were going to ask me something about a product my store sold. I thought nothing sinister of it. They come up to me and sit down right away. They both had heavy accents, though I'm not sure what kind because it hadn't been something I'd ever heard. They were just very classy, as though... Oops. Domino's Pizza sucks. I remember I thought Domino's Pizza sucks, but then I got like this deep dish one time, and I literally couldn't stop eating it. Like, it was the best shit ever. It was like, I think it was deep dish, and like the crust was really good. I don't know. I haven't gotten a Domino's Pizza in many a moon, but 'twas quite yummy. I remember around here, like at every fucking like, you know, kids sport event or just anything, like everybody always ordered Papa John's pizza. And I think it's because like they gave them a deal to like schools and shit like that. But Papa John's pizza's okay. I mean, pizza's like one of those things where like you'll deal with it no matter what form it's in, but there's certain ones that are like way better. Like diamonds, you know what I mean? Like there's some, you're gonna, if you find a diamond, you're gonna keep it, but there's some diamonds that are in tippier, toppier shape, you know? But there's quite a bit of them nowadays. Valerie Hernandez with the 5 says, do your knees crackle when you squat? I am 30 and mine do sometimes. How can I stop it without, how can I stop it without not working out? Well, you know, whenever... when I squat, I always like do quite a bit of like pre-stretching warm-ups, so like the cracks usually come out like especially my hips. My hips always require like and sometimes it gets loud. It's like a gunk, like my fucking insertion point at my femur is just like up, like replacing it where it should be or something like that. My hips are really tight. I feel like I need to like fucking take some yoga or some bullshit. But as far as like a continuational like kind of cracking, that's a good thing to look into, because that could maybe indicate something more like a rubbing at a particular joint that doesn't have proper. I don't know. I don't honestly. I feel like you should look that up, because that could indicate like joints like rubbing into each other over and over again, where there's not a lot of support, potentially needing either more like ligament support or like muscular support, or even potentially like taking like like omega-3s and omega-9s, stuff like that would lubricate the joints. Can anybody speak to this as to like or maybe they could look it up, somebody in the chat could look it up, like that sort of like repetitive cracking, what that would indicate. Weston's gonna smoke my joints. Wait, what about PayPal, Trey? Why do we... I'll send you some YouTube money, lol. Sometimes I have to go walk around a bigger cemetery. Yeah, I don't know. You guys have to look that up and tell me, because now I'm kind of interested. Because, I mean, my shoulder used to kind of make that a lot, like crack, but I think as I strengthened the muscle and ligaments around it, it got better. So perhaps that overuse of joints. Yeah, I have that. Pop my neck fast and I get stares and questions. Are you okay? Well, yeah, I mean, but like a sort of like repetitive crack where it's not like you can like fix it until like the air pockets fill up again. You know what I mean? You think curcumin supplements could help? Is that how you pronounce it? Curcumin? Hearing my voice live is a mind trip. Joel's Health Channel. Definitely interesting. You take glucosamine for it. What's that? Hey, Pink Bunny, what up? What up? You constantly have finger pain. Yeah, I would do some stretches for that. Snappy Bakes, what's up? Brothers Grimm, hello. Cracking joints turns into rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah, is there any way to... Yeah, definitely look into, like, how we can sort of mitigate rheumatoid arthritis, I guess, progression, I think is what we want to look into. When does it start? We are continuing on here. This is story 3. Sorry, sometimes I get a little distracted, especially about the health stuff. I enjoy people talking about that, or really anything. I don't give a shit. They were dressed very classy, as if they were going to church, and they relatively seemed completely normal. One of the women pulls out a book, and they begin asking me some odd questions, such as, do you go to church? Do you believe in God? Mainly just stuff that has to do with religion, so I assumed they were some sort of missionaries. They then began to tell me about God the Mother. With me being extremely shy, I just listened to them talk. They then asked me if I was able to come with them to a youth group that they had organized that was going on tonight. I told them that I was at work and just on break, so I couldn't go, but they continued to insist. Finally, they got the message that I couldn't go with them, so they asked me for a phone number and told me that they'd text me the next time that they had arranged one and I could go. Sorry, that just sounded weird. Oh, you know what I fucking missed, dude? I'm pretty sure... Crap. Oh, it doesn't even show. Dude, something's going on with the notifications for memberships, but... Oh, wait, is that it? No. Fuck, I think it was so high up that I totally missed someone's membership. I don't know if anybody remembers who that was, or... Oh, wait, was it Snappy? Was it Snappy Pigs? Somebody became a member, and it totally didn't notify me. Normally it says full grown pizza, but if you did, please at me so I can thank you for that, and thank you for that. And thank you, Cheyenne Dory Bob, with the big $20 donation, says just because you're awesome. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Cheyenne. I really appreciate it. God the mother tried to take your sister. Uh-oh. When's Audible going to hit me with another offer? I don't know, honestly. I'm down. I would love to, like, get somebody to be like I don't know, like an ad manager or something like that that's able to, like, find me, that works for one of those companies and is able to find me, like, consistent advertisers that I can, utilize for the channel just to be even more, like, independent of YouTube ads and stuff like that, because it's a little bit up in the air sometimes. But Bethany says, I'm confused. How do I send a story? Yeah, so if you have a Reddit account, you can go to reddit.com/r/letsreadofficial. You can submit a story through there, or you can email it over to letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com and stuff. That would be cool. Full-grown queefsa. Snappy's like, I might not know who I am. Tree Flesh, what is good? Finally, they got the message that I couldn't go with them, so they asked me for my phone number and told me that they'd text me next time they arranged one and I could go. I really didn't want to talk to them anymore. I wanted to get them to leave, so I agreed and gave them my phone number. A couple of days later, I got a text from them trying to arrange something, but I just blocked the number and thought nothing of it. It's not that I thought that they were planning to hurt me, I just wasn't really into going to a youth grupper. You fall asleep to my stories, it's ruined you. Good. It's not that I thought that they were planning to hurt me, I just wasn't really into going to a youth group. And then a couple of months later, I was reading the news and there was a story warning young girls about a human trafficking scheme in my city. It said that women would come up to you and talk to you about God the Mother and try to get you to leave with them. So thank goodness I hadn't finished my shift yet, and thank goodness that I never responded to their text. It's so weird to me to think that if I would have, I probably wouldn't be in Canada right now. Was God the Mother a fucking human trafficking thing? Bethany, I can't sleep without your voice. Thank you. Yeah, I know the pain of, well, not the pain, but the good sort of pain of relying upon someone's voice to pass out to. So I'm glad that I can be that person. Blocking numbers is such a pain. Isn't it easy? You just, like, click the block option or something like that. Maybe it's more complicated. I don't have to do it too often. Somebody mentioned tamales earlier. Are you excited for tamales on Christmas? Wolves fan, what's up, homie G? Tamales de fresa. You just let it ring. Well, apparently there's an option on the iPhone. I don't know if Androids have this or other phones, but now, like, unknown numbers, you can have it set so they just immediately go to voicemail or something like that, which is like their way to combat all of those, like, automatic systems that, like, sell your information and then try to call you and sell you something, which is really weird. You don't take Xanax anymore, you just listen to me. Thank you, Weston. That's actually awesome, because Xanax is, I hear, kind of bad for you, a little addictive, but gotta be careful with it from what I hear. I think I've had tamales before. It's been a long time. Not the most, culturally present food up here in Pennsylvania. Fruit tamales, damn. Okay. A couple of years ago, I flew home to visit family. I'd be there about a week, then we'd head to the coast for a week, then back home for another week. I totally needed this break. I just ended an off again. I just ended an on again, off again relationship. Like, seriously, one day on, the next day off, literally. It took 7 months of putting up with it because you're supposed to fight for what is important to you, right? Anyhow, I finally just said I was done with it. No more chances, no trying to work it out, just done. So with that chapter of my life being over, I was more than happy to be somewhere else, surrounded by family, and beginning to put myself back together. Got there, spent a couple of days sleeping a lot. My mother's a nurse, and she was becoming concerned that there was something physically wrong with me. I just needed a couple of days in a safe place where I could let my brain work on digesting the new life I would have when I got back home. So before we left for the coast, I met up with a friend from grade school that I'd kept in contact with over the years. I thought it would just be he and I, but it didn't really faze me that another person was there. We hung out for take a backwoods rural route to get home, or taking a different route that would add another 20 minutes on my trek. Being backwoods, I needed to be able to keep an eye out for deer. So I said goodbye and told... Wait, who's S.A.? Oops. Oh. I think I pressed... Oh, okay. Wait, was S.A. representing somebody in the story? Texas tamales and menudo are the best. Is that how you say it? Menudo? What would S.A. mean? So I said goodbye and told S.A. Was S.A. supposed to be I'm just confused. What's my favorite color? I really like green, you know. The color of my avatar there on screen is pretty cool. It's like a teal, you know, like a mix between bluish green, aquamarine. Have I seen the PogChamp meme? I have. Wait, menudo. Oh, okay. Or menudo? Seems like you got two pronunciations there. Okay, menudo. Everybody's got a different pronunciation. Hey, see you, Tree Flesh. Have a good night. Anne's Alias with the 5 says, thank you for helping with my mental health during hard times. It's not COVID, but I've been sick since January 2020. Shit, I'm sorry. And you're welcome. I'm glad you're, can come here and feel a little bit better. I apologize. 2020 has been hard for a lot of peeps. Thank you. And thank you, Cheyenne Dory Bob, with another 5 says you have about a 12-minute delay for your notifications. Is it really that long?
Hey, listen.
That's a long delay. Maybe, I don't even know. The beard is crispy. Yeah, it's a crispy beard. I need to put some oil in it.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, sorry for the delay on the notifications there. But it's like, I don't know, I see them on screen. Maybe it's also delay like between when you guys hear me and when I see you on screen, or I don't know. Sherlock, you're welcome. What the fuck? Yeah, what's this author trying to say about S.A.? So I said goodbye and told S.A. that if he was ever in my neck of the woods, look me up and we'd grab a drink and hang out. Wait. Was that supposed to be the friend? I met up with a friend from grade school I thought it was just he and I, but we hung out for a while and I needed to head home. Wait, I thought it was just he and I, but it didn't really faze me that it brought another person. Crispy ASMR beard. When you pause the stream, it'll delay everything. Yeah. So I said my goodbyes and told the friend that if he was ever in my neck of the woods to look me up and we'd grab a drink and hang out. I told him to grab my number from my friend, and out the door I went. About halfway home, I got this weird queasy feeling in the pit of my stomach, so I slowed way down, and sure enough, there was a deer in the middle of the road. Because I had slowed down, I could see another car out in the road. I couldn't shake the queasy feeling, so I figured it would be better to cut off and go down to the main road because there were more places to stop. I seriously didn't want to stop in some rural farmer's driveway. I've watched too many movies to make that mistake. So I get over to the main road and pull into a gas station and sit there for a couple of minutes, trying not to get sick to my stomach. I ran into the store, grabbed some water and ginger ale, and came back to my vehicle, still unable to shake that queasy feeling. So I started to head home from the gas station and knew I didn't want to go straight home. So I drove around, taking this road or that road until that weird feeling started to go away. Then I went home, read for a bit, and then went to sleep. The next day everything was fine and we headed off to the coast. Fast forward 2 weeks, trip is over, I'm stealing I'm stealing stuff. Pico de gallo with a diced avocado. Pico de chew? What's pico de chew? Oh, El Squacco is disguised. You like deer, they're cool. Salmon tacos. Fast forward 2 weeks, trip is over. I'm still feeling a little bit fragile over the breakup, but that's all. I figured I would begin the process of cleansing the environment of negative energies and then work through the baggage that came from the breakup. I knew that there was a lot and it would take time. So the next day I was going about my business, and everything is as cool as it can be when picking through the junk left behind after a breakup. I'm really just doing mindless things to zone out and not have to think too much on the activities since my brain was working full-time already. A little bit later in the day, my phone rings. I don't get a lot of calls, so I assume that there might be a family emergency that I needed to answer at ASAP. The area code of the caller, who was not in my contacts, is the same as my cousin, so I answered without a second thought. On the other end was the cousin's friend, the one I talked about earlier. Oops. Peaceful Prodigy with the two says, want to say hi to my dog Cooper? Yo, Coop. What up, bro? You want to go on a walk? Let's go on a walk. Let's go on a walk.
Hey, listen.
I would be giddy if that dog freaked out, man. Yeah. Just kidding. There's no walk, Coop. Just kidding, bro. But I'll give you some pats later. Tell Cooper to sit and see if... Dude, Cooper, fucking sit, bro. Sit. Sit, Cooper. Sit. On the other end was... the acquaintance I met at my friend's house. It's a little weird to have him be calling me, but I'm not thinking that anything is terribly out of the ordinary. I asked him what was up, and he said he was at the airport. I still find it a little odd, but I said, "Oh, that's cool. Where are you going?" He'd said that he'd already landed. Again, I'm distracted and really just want to get him off the phone so I could go back to my mental sidestep and zone out while my brain chugged away. So I said that I'd hoped he'd have a good time wherever he was. He said that he needed me to pick him up. What? Did you just say you needed me to pick you up? Yeah, he replied. I came to visit you. Pause there for a second. I know for a fact that I didn't show any more interest in him than general courtesy. Even the tossed over the shoulder look me up comment was one of those polite things to say because you never actually plan on seeing them again. Unpause. Why did you come to visit me? I asked. He said he felt a deep connection and wanted to be with me. I'm starting to get angry as well as freaked out at this stage. I told him I didn't feel connection at all and couldn't believe that he would fly across the country to see someone that he'd spent maybe 2 hours with. He said that I invited him when I said to look him up. I said, no? That's just a polite thing to say to some random person that has made a very small impression on me. He said they needed to find a way back home then since I misled him. Misled? Look me up if you're ever in my neck of the woods had led him to think that was a basis for any sort of encounter that was meaningful? He said that he needed a place to stay until he could get the money for a plane ticket back. I said that there were more than enough hotels that he could stay at while he got himself sorted out. He said he didn't have any money after buying the random one-way plane ticket. So at this stage, I'm flabbergasted, angry, and freaked out that someone would do that on a one-way ticket. I finally caved and said he could stay the night while we sorted this out, but I expected him to be gone no later than the morning of the day after tomorrow. So I bring him back to my place, throw pillows and a blanket on the couch, and turn to my head my... Dude, this is fucking weird. What a goofy ball, dude. I wonder if there's anyone that actually... That's weird as fuck. A skeleton with a glued-on beard. Still enough hormones to protrude through the bones. How's my car? Oh, my car? Or my cat? Oh. I was gonna say, car seems good. Cat's good. He makes no sense. Like, he'll hang out forever and then randomly one out. And then instantaneously after walking out, I don't know if he goes out there to take like one sip of water and then come right back or something. Maybe he does. I don't know. But then like he wanted in really bad and I let him in as I was getting ready for this. But then he walked out again. I don't know. I think he just like doesn't like the idea of me having any privacy. Peaceful Prodigy with the 2 says he lifted his head from a deep sleep to say hi. Hello, Peaceful. Now return to your sleep, your sleep, your sleep. Try ceviche, raw shrimp, and octopus. Interesting. My cat car, yeah. It's like that one Studio Ghibli movie where I forget who it is. Like what is it? My friend Tonto or some shit. Tortoro or yeah. Remember that one? They're driving the cat car around.
Hey, listen.
You have an exam tomorrow, but it was fun being here. Good night. Good night, Bread. Good luck on the exam. So I bring him back to my place, throw pillows and a blanket on the couch, and turn to head to my bedroom, and he asks if he can sleep with me. I'm like, no? Actually, no way is that going to happen. So I point out that I have firearms and do not attempt to come in. The next day, I have to work. So I woke him up and told him to get up and find way home. Oops. My neighbor Tortoro, yeah. Do I watch Animal? I definitely have watched anime, but I don't. The only recent one that I watched was with my buddies' kids. They were watching this one anime from Studio Ghibli as well, but it was like the one about like flying planes and shit on the different islands, which was really cool. And I didn't even know it existed, but it was neat. They were like fighter pilots or some shit, or like I forget. But I don't really watch like anime. I don't really watch anything. I just like listen to stuff on YouTube. Somebody finish your thesis. Yikes. I always was curious what it would be like to go through like a PhD program, unless that's like something, or like masters or make a thesis, all that kind of stuff. Joel seems like he'd be the best uncle in town. I do actually have a nephew though. He's a good boy. The next day I have work, so I woke him up and told him to get up and find a way home immediately. I also told him that I had to work, but would check in on his progress because the next morning I was dropping him off at departures regardless of whether he had a way back or not. Went to work. He blew up my phone all day. Wanted me to come back to my place for lunch. Told him no, I'm way too busy. I finally get home from work and I'm chuckling at a text that I got about my dog. And that's when I noticed that he rearranged everything. And by everything, I mean every room of the house had been rearranged. I flipped my lid. I asked him why he thought it was normal to do anything that he did. Instead of answering, he asked me who I'd been talking to. I said it wasn't really any of his business, but I had received a text from the guy watching my dog while I was on vacation. color me shocked when he says that he doesn't want me to talk to that guy. No longer freaked, full force apocalyptic disaster is about to be unleashed and leave nothing but a smoking crater. The temperature drops about 10 degrees, and I very calmly said, to get his stuff, I was calling a cab to take him to the airport because he is a psycho. Side note, full rage has been achieved when it feels like the temperature drops and I speak very calmly. If I'm complaining about something, it's a quick burn. If I go monotone calm and tilt my head to one side slightly, this is where I hit Arctic levels of anger. So he, unaware of the environmental change that has occurred and that the chances of survival are dropping by the second, decides to tell me that he used my computer and got my ex's phone number, and they both agree that I was just heartless. We're fast approaching the epic scale disaster, and he finally seems to notice how deep into rage I had sunk. I told him it was unlikely that he had gotten into my computer because it's a full quote of a part of the art of war. Well, that caught me off guard. D Shore with the 5 says, have the best night ever. Thank you, D Shore. Same to you. Thank you so much for the 5. Thank you, thank you. And JJ Pearson with the 2 says, I give you $2. Do you like that chapter? Oh, I've heard of that chapter, but I don't think I've ever actually watched them before. I'll have to check them out. You'll have to send me some linkage to one of your favorite videos of theirs. I told him it was unlikely that he had gotten into my computer because it's a full quote of a part of the Art of War by Sun Tzu, and that he would had to have been the process. And that he would have had to have had the... Wait, what? And that he would have to have been the processing power of a Hadron Collider computers. What? Thank you, Supernatural Sam. I appreciate that. Hopefully one day we'll get to 1 trillion subs. 1 million subscribers. I told him it was unlikely that he had gotten in my computer because it's a full quote of a part of The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and that he would have to have been the processing power of the Hadron Collider computers, and it was obvious that was not the case. I told him he had 3 minutes to get his stuff and get out, or I wouldn't be responsible for what would occur. So, still yelling insults at me, he gathers his stuff and leaves. I used to get calls and texts from him. I block one and 6 more would pop up, but it eventually stopped. To this day, I have no idea, nor interest in knowing where he's at, or if he made it. Fuck, why does my voice always crack at the most inopportune times? Oh, shit. To this day, I have no idea, nor interest in knowing where he's at, or if he made it back. You couldn't possibly get into my computer because I'm a genius, and I put a quote from Sun Tzu in there. I guess these stories aren't as short as I thought they were going to be. The God of Pez with 5 buccarinos says, Taco Tuesday, my friend, get one. Thank you so much, Pez. Tacos sound pretty flippin' good right now, honestly. Tacos and tamales. My balls are dropping, it's normal, yeah. I don't think they can get any lower, to be honest. Joel is your name in Spanish, I think. Yeah, I've had a lot of Spanish people call me different names, like pendejo. No, I'm just kidding. Like, you know, like they pronounce it like Joel or Joel. You know, that's pretty much it. Like, very seldom do they call me Joel. Even if I tell them it's Joel, they just like keep pronouncing it like Joel or Joel. I remember the one guy at the airport from the Dominican Republic, but I guess it was in Miami. He saw my name was Joel, and then he's like, I got a cousin, his name is Joel, you know, and And then, I don't know, it was just weird. The way that he kept talking to me was as if though I was of some Spanish descent. So maybe when I get a tan, I kind of like got a bit of a look like that. It's hard to tell. They call it what is it? La Panocha? What's that? Is that like Pinocchio? Joel Pendejo. Joel Pendejo. That'd be a funny name. Raven, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs infest your entire sleeping quarters. Joe as well. Joel. Joel is common in Latin America. And maybe. I think it would be fun to learn Spanish. I could fit in down there. It was kind of embarrassing, like when we would go on, when I did like some missions trips and stuff, and they all spoke Spanish, and I just didn't know shit. I didn't know how to fucking talk, you know what I mean? And a few people did, and you kind of feel left out, you know, which is whatever. Like, you know, it's not a huge deal, but I'm sure if you stayed there long enough, you could eventually like learn it, I guess. But I have a lot of Spanish-speaking customers at my work, and I've had a few conversations with people who think I speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Yeah. I'm sure once you learn like a few of like the basics, it's a little bit easier to grow from there. Just, it's fucking tough when you don't speak it. Pinche guero. What's that? Is that bad words? Are you guys saying bad words? I said a naughty word in Spanish. Joel. Thanks, Byron. Thank you, Ortiz. Gringo. Yeah, that's me pretty much. Oh, gringo. I wonder if someone could have a YouTube channel named Gringo and if that would be an issue. Riley donated $1 million. I would. What would even happen in that case? I don't. Can you even do that? I don't even know. I'd shit my pants. Everyone's swearing. Everyone's saying swear words. Hey, Trill, what's good? Alright. I'm a French girl. I'm 25 years old, but I was 22 when it happened. I was living with my boyfriend, ex now, in a little flat in Paris. I was in a toxic and violent relationship. Moreover, I was suffering from a disease, so I couldn't go out with friends. So I spent most of my free time on the internet. I didn't have many friends. I was really lonely. As I couldn't go out, most of them abandoned me when I fell sick. The few friends that I had were living really far away. One day, I had a big argument with my boyfriend. I was really sad and lonely, so I decided to chat with random people on a website. I met a guy. We had the same interests. We were both playing video games a lot. We talked for 6 months every day. He was knowing that I was in a relationship, even if it was a terrible one. We'll call him Alex. We decided to meet in real life. He was okay to meet me at my flat. At first, we were both really shy, but thanks to alcohol, we talked and laughed together. I was so relieved that finally I was having a friend to talk with. We were seeing each other at least once per week. I remember this as a happy time. We had so many common points, and he never forced me to go out. He was really helping to me, and I was helping him. Oops. He was really helping me, and I was helping him. He was a depressed guy. He was thinking that he was ruining his own life. I wanted to help him as much as I could to give him self-esteem. I just wanted him to spend good time with a good friend. And for my 22nd birthday, my boyfriend decided to make a party, and he invited Alex as he was my only friend that we were living not too far from my flat, and he invited 10 of his friends. I wasn't really happy with that. He knew that I didn't like when there's too many people. It tends to get me anxious and feel pressured, so I spent my entire night to... Oh. Oh, all night, Deb. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs infest every inch of your bed. "42 mistakes, Vixa. Thank you for being dedicated to the grind." So I spent my entire night cooking and serving his friends. I really couldn't enjoy the party. And then my boyfriend humiliated me in front of everyone. I went to the bathroom to cry. Alex joined me and tried his best to comfort me, and I was in a pure mental breakdown, so I told him everything about my boyfriend's behavior. I insisted on the fact that I loved him, but I will break up when it will be the right time. It was too dangerous to break up at that moment. As I was crying, he tried to kiss me. I stopped him. I didn't want to add a new problem in my life. It was already too difficult. I know that it's weird to say, but I was feeling betrayed. I was feeling that he was waiting for this moment to try something. He didn't react, opened the door, and gave me a gift. It was a really... simp. Fucking simp. No, I'm just kidding. Would it be funny if she called him a simp? I called him a simp. I threw the necklace back in his face. My favorite food. I like all of them. I like lasagna. There's so many good foods. It's like hard to say. Sometimes I just like giant burritos. Like I would get these. Oh man, this is like one of my favorite things to do is just get like giant burritos that were like big enough to make you feel like you were shitting out a baby later, you know, from Chipotle. And God, that was so good with like a diet Dr. P to go with it, bro. It's the best shit ever. Lasagna. Jay Giller with the 5 says, "Thank you for putting me to bed every night. No homo." Hey, thank you, Jay. No worries either way. Thank you, thank you. Sleep tight, sweet prince. I hope I never find a spider in my bed when I go to sleep. Me too. Carlos Centeno with the 5 says, "Pumped that I finally get to catch another one of your live readings. Hope you're doing well and find yourself safe and healthy." Thank you, Carlos. Thank you. Much love to you as well. Callie's craving a Dr. Pepper. Chipotle food is garbage. You know, compared to like Taco Bell, it's like, you know, high quality cuisine to a guy right after lifting a nice heavy weight. Turn up the microphone. What do you guys think? Is it loud? It seems like it's, I feel like, because if I turn it up anymore, it's already hitting in the yellow zone, which if it goes any higher than that, it might peak and it might be kind of scratchy, and I don't want to like blow your guys' ear out, you know? Yeah, I mean. Chipotle is young. Taco Bell is inedible. I think you're going to say incredible, but it's inedible. That's funny. Pepsi, when I do, in DP. It'd be funny to call Dr. Pepper DP from now on. Joel is buff. I guess. I don't know. I'm stronger. But it's like really hard to like shape your body. You know what I mean? Like to do like I don't really do a lot of like bodybuilding type stuff. It's more just like I lift heavy weights and eat all the food, you know. Buff Daddy. Have I heard Mexican food from a real taco truck? There's actually quite a few solid Mexican restaurants around this area that are really good, and it actually makes me want to go to them more often because it's just good ass food, but never from a taco truck, I don't think. Perhaps I think there was one in Hawaii. There was a taco truck I stopped at that, but I don't know if that was official Mexican food, since that's quite a bit of ways away from Mexico. When am I getting an OnlyFans? Hopefully soon. I've My last account got banned because I was too sexy. Sorry, Freddie. Let me get to reading again. Sometimes I just get distracted and start bullshitting. He didn't react, opened the door, and gave me a gift. It was a really beautiful necklace. I told him that I couldn't accept it. It was too expensive, but he went out without a word. After this, I decided to put some distance between us. I didn't want to make him suffer. It's cruel to keep him as a friend if he wants more. I explained to him that if he wanted more, it will not be with me. I didn't want to cheat on my boyfriend, but if one day he wanted to talk to a friend, then he could contact me. And I didn't hear from him after this. A few months later, I received text from him. Really long, something like 20... That's funny, instead of 20 texts, it says 20 texto. 20 texto. Dillon is chillon. Why'd I gotta do chills like that? I don't know. It becomes like addictive, to be honest with you. Like when you start talking like that, it's like I can't break away from it. You know what I mean? Like I have no disrespect for Dylan is chillin' at all. I love that guy, and I've actually talked to him. He's really nice. Like I remember one time I talked to him on the phone for like 2 hours just about YouTube shit and just everything about his experiences and stuff. Super nice guy. Totally deserves all of his success, you know. But the voice is just, once you hear it, you know, you just can't not do an impression of it, you know what I mean? A few months later, I received text from him. It was really long, something like 20 texts. He was saying that he was really in love with me, that he wanted to save me, that I was his reason to live. I was shocked at first, because the way he said it was really creepy. I explained to him one more time that I didn't need to be saved, that I was an adult, and even if my boyfriend was mean, what the fuck? This story is frustrating me. I'm gonna let it finish out before I see how it plays out, but I don't know. It's frustrating me. I explained to him one more time that I didn't need to be saved, that I was an adult, and even if my boyfriend was mean, I didn't want to break up. I wasn't feeling ready for this, and that I wasn't in love with him. We exchanged texts for more than 1 hour, but he didn't want to understand. Alex was insisting a lot. My boyfriend bugged as I was receiving too many texts and phone calls. It was making me too anxious. I decided to turn my phone off and went to work. At this moment, I was working in a little restaurant. I was a waitress there, and I was taking commands by phone. The phone was ringing. I picked up the phone. I heard breathing at first, then I recognized the voice. It was Alex's voice. I was feeling like I was in a horror movie. My bones froze. My entire body was shaking. I hung up all... Read Dracula. How long is Dracula? I feel like it's gotta be a long-ass book. How many stories? Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude. Actually, dude, we got a ways to go, honestly. This is story 5 of 10. That's alright. I feel like time's kind of going by quick, and I stopped caring about how late things go anymore. Is this the last story? No, this is story 5 of 10, yeah. I hung up almost immediately, but the phone rang again, something like 10 times until my boss picked it up. It was 7 p.m. I was supposed to finish my work at midnight. At 11 p.m., I saw him. He came to my workplace and begged to talk to me. I was so afraid I couldn't talk. I ran into the kitchen, explained the situation to one of my coworkers. He took my place as a waiter, and I took him. Please tell you there's a Walmart story. I have no idea, maybe. Hopefully this chick will go to Walmart at some point. He took my place as a waiter, and I took his as a cook. Alex left 30 minutes later. I was too afraid to come home alone, so my coworker dropped me off to my flat. My boyfriend was a night worker, so I was alone. I locked my flat's door, blocked Alex's number, and I was ready to call the police. I didn't want to talk about it to my boyfriend. I already knew that he wouldn't help me or that he would accuse me of being too provocative. Moreover, I didn't want him to fight with Alex. Alex to me was just lost. He didn't deserve to be beaten up by my boyfriend. The next day I had more than 100 blocked calls. I didn't sleep at all. I was exhausted. I was trying not to give him any attention. A month passed. He tried to come to my workplace many times, but my boss talked to him and called the cops. Then he never came back there. He was still harassing me, but I was ignoring it. I thought that he'll understand and finally leave me alone. I was afraid, so I tried to lodge a complaint with the police, but they refused it, as it was just a guy who's in love, so to speak. One day, I woke up to go to work. My boyfriend was playing online video games, and he received a message. This was Alex. In the text, he was saying that he was in love with me, that we had made love many times, that I was a cheater and stuff like that. I was shocked. I didn't understand what was happening. My brain froze and I couldn't react. But thank God my boyfriend saw my blocked call. He was suspecting that Alex was harassing me for a long time, even if I never told him. He decided to block him too, then he went to work. My boss called me, told me that I will begin 2 hours later today, and I was alone in my flat. I don't know how to explain it, but I was feeling that something would happen, and my heart was racing. I was feeling nauseous. Then I heard my doorbell ring. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. I couldn't stand or walk. My entire body was freezing up. I was feeling the tears on my face, but I couldn't react. I felt all of this was just some nightmare. I waited, the most silent possible Yeah, this girl just needs to go. I don't know. It's just weird, you know what I mean? Like, because you can actually see, like, this sort of, like, strange mindset this person is taking, where in the beginning, it's like, my boyfriend is abusive, he embarrassed me in front of everyone, he doesn't care about my birthday, I'm serving him and his friends all night, I finally meet this great guy, great guy, and I'm not saying what this guy is doing is right, and obviously he has crossed the Rubicon of insanity and is now doing stupid shit, but it's just weird for you now. It's almost as if though she's like trying to like change the narrative so that you feel like some sort of sympathy towards the boyfriend, you know what I mean? And it almost like makes you ponder like what kind of like mind state she's in, where she continues to forgive this like total asshole guy. I don't know, it's just like weird. Uncle material. Yo, this is some uncle material. No, I'm not saying there's a great guy, but I mean in the beginning of the story, if you've been listening, the beginning of the story, she painted him out to be like this great friend who then became psycho, but then she's trying to like go back on her statements about her boyfriend as if though the boyfriend has any sort of like credence here to the listener, you know what I mean? It's just weird. It's just like a weird like line of thinking. I don't know. Who here has laser ray Christmas lights? I waited the most. Sorry, this is weird. It just seems like she's. I don't know. It's like she's manipulated by the guy, like you're saying, but I feel like we haven't picked up on like exactly what. I don't know. It's like a weird sense of gaslighting. Yeah, like it almost seems, yeah, like this guy that's stalking her now is almost reinforcing her attachment to the abusive boyfriend. It's sad. It's like really sad to listen to, you know? Ass lighting, Jesus. I waited as silently as possible. As he was stalking me for a long time, he knew that I was supposed to work at this hour. I thought that he wanted to see my boyfriend, to manipulate him, as he wanted me to be single, and that was the best way. The doorbell rang again. I was supposed to go to work. It took all my courage, and I went out. It was him. He was crying. At this moment, I wasn't afraid anymore. I was so angry, and I began to shout at him. He was trying to explain that he was so in love with me. He would die if I didn't give him the chance. He said that he talked to my boyfriend, that he would finally save me, and that even if I don't want to be with him, my boyfriend would have to kill him so he wouldn't suffer anymore. Moreover, he admitted that he hacked my Facebook and Instagram account, so he knew that I wasn't hating him. I talked about the situation to my best friend. I was saying to her that Alex was just unstable, but not mean, that I was more sad than angry about his behavior and stuff like that. I decided to run out, but he followed me and grabbed my arms when I was trying to escape by the stairs. I hit him. I begged him to let me go. I cried like I'd never in my entire life. I felt terrorized, angry. I just wanted to escape and run as far as possible. He pushed me against the door and told me these words. If you have free... Oh, shit. If you refuse to have a conversation with me, I'll go to your boyfriend's workplace. I'll talk to him. Then he'll hate you as much as I love you. Maybe he'd kill me, but that doesn't matter. I was trapped. I couldn't escape. I didn't want to call the cops as they didn't help me at first. I decided to accept to have a conversation with him outside after my work. He calmed down instantly, thanked me, and went out. When I arrived at work, I was still shaking. I explained everything to my coworker and boss. My coworker decided to stay in his car after work in front of the restaurant so that if I needed help, he would be there. At the end of my shift, Alex was here. We sat outside and talked. He was repeating what he'd said to me 1,000,000 times already, again and again. Then I interrupted him calmly and said that nothing will ever happen between us, that I was afraid of him and that he was poisoning my life. Moreover, he was putting me in danger. He stopped. It looked like he finally realized what he was doing. He put some... Whoops. Elizabeth Harrington with the 5 says, my cousin just passed away and I greatly appreciate your videos because they get my mind off of things. Oh. I'm sorry, Elizabeth, to hear that, but I'm glad we can distract you from that negativity here. He pulled something out of his bag. It was a really big package, and he gave it to me. It was full of expensive items. I told him that I didn't want to accept it. At first he told me that he bought this for me so he couldn't keep it, as it would be a reminder of me. Then he kind of blackmailed me by saying that if I accepted this, he won't contact me ever again. I accepted. I was tired, and I just wanted to go home and finally sleep. Then he said goodbye and went out. Sadly, that's not the end of the story. 2 weeks later, I was sleeping at one of my coworkers' places, who became one of my most precious friends, and at 5 a.m. I heard my phone ringing. I was too tired to answer, but I heard it again, and again, and again. It was some text from an unknown number. I opened it, and the first thing I saw was blood. Then there was a long text, but I didn't have the time to read it as I received other pictures. There was blood everywhere in the pictures. I woke up my friend. I showed her the pictures, and I was shaking so much I couldn't understand what was happening. I received 31 pictures of mutilated arms, torsos, and legs. On the last of them, I saw Alex's face. It was Alex again. I called Alex's mother to explain her what was happening, and I recognized his bedroom in the pictures. Then my friend put my phone far from me. She was hugging me, and I was feeling so guilty, thinking that everything was my fault. Almost an hour later, I didn't receive another text or call, which was making me even more anxious. I thought that he was dead. Suddenly, my phone rang again. I received a video of him, and he was in a hospital bed. He was trying to talk, but almost everything was under... Oh, Mr. Nightmare adds cheesy sound effects. Nice. Yeah, I think I would do sound effects, but some of my videos are just too long, and I post too often that it would just take forever. Let's read greater than corpse. Oh, shit. You're gonna piss off all the e-girls. He was trying to talk, but almost everything was unintelligible except for a few words like love and promises. Alex had tried to take his own life. He took drugs and cut himself. He was diagnosed as bipolar with a personality disorder. He stayed a few months at that psychiatric clinic. And the last thing I heard about him. It's true, I do have the best gargling sounds on the interwebs. I dare any of those narrators to try to keep up with my gargles. The last thing I heard about him was that he's on treatment and feeling better. I received a last text last year, and it was just, sorry. Since this day, I moved out. I have a new job, a new place to live, in a different city, and a different boyfriend. Even if I'm still traumatized by it, I do think that Alex isn't that bad of a guy. In France, psychiatric troubles are taken a little too lightly. Alex needed help, and I really hope from the bottom of my heart that he's gotten it. Well, at least she got away from that shitty boyfriend. Holy shit. Just a messy situation overall. Best gargles in the biz, baby. You wish I had... Who had an English accent? Corpse, Lazy, Dr. Creepin, Let's Read, Southern Cannibal, Mr. Nightmare, love you all equally. Thank you, Dominic. We all get equal love. Yeah, he's a niche in Japanese stories. He definitely seems like he loves Japan. A couple of years ago, I, a 21-year-old female, was solo backpacking in France and made a day trip out to the Versailles. Oh, is it how you say it? Versailles? 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 Oopsie daisy. The God of Perez with the 5 says, it's been too long without a freestyle, bro. Yo, calling you out. He wants a freestyle about Versailles. He knows I'm the guy, but I might cry if I get it wrong and whip out my dong. No, don't call it a schlong. I just bought some General Sal's from Uncle Wong's.
Hey, listen.
Fuck. Everybody wants me to make an OnlyFans, but I'll probably get banned because I'm too sexy. I'm like a T-Rexy with my sharp teeth. With that beat. Bring the heat, but not the skeet. Don't call me Pete. Call me Peter. Because I go grr in that. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Why don't you guys fucking freestyle rap? All I can do is make sex jokes. Freestyling seems kind of hard. Unless that was that a professional? That seemed kind of like a professional freestyle, to be honest with you. Like, I feel that I was kind of on the same level of Maybe like Kanye West when he won. Yeah, when he won a Grammy.
The following pronunciation is brought to you by pronouncenames.com.
Oh, great! Thanks. Can't wait to go to that fucking website. Not Versailles. Okay. So it is Versailles in Paris. Make it stop! Make it stop! Diamond Knight with the $4. Thank you, Diamond Knight. Thank you. I'm gonna drink some of that brown juice in that cup. Dude, that was professional. Eminem, yeah, Eminem scared. Eminem shitting his pants right now. Listen to that shit. He's like so embarrassed by another rap god. It's like Zeus versus Hercules, and I'm fucking Pegasus, and I'm flying in with some sick beats, but I also like take a shit on all of their faces at the same time with my rhymes. But it's Eminem's face, and it's covered in feces, my feces. All right, Eminem, you hear that? I know you listen to the stream. I know you're back in 8 Mile right now, practicing your game, working in a factory. But I don't care. I'll dominate you, bro. I will dominate you in the freestyle arena. Your grandmother's gonna have to pick you up. You're gonna have to call her and text her, say, yup, got destroyed by Let's Read in a freestyle battle after he saw that my grandmother dropped me off. It was easy pickings at that point. Almost 3 a.m. on the East Coast. Almost 2 a.m., yeah. Yo, I dare Eminem to start typing disses in the chat, because I got all y'all to type some back. We're gonna have a full-out Twitter beef, saying that instead of rapping, he should be retiring because he's old. He is kind of weird now, though, Eminem. Like, I just, what is Eminem? I feel like he's one of those characters who's definitely a clone, you know what I mean? Like, definitely dead, and now a clone, and specifically only used to, like, be one of, like, the 4 artists that they, like, sort of cycle out for Super Bowl halftime performances, you know what I mean? Detroit. Mom spaghetti, yeah, he's eating mom spaghetti right now. The noodles are hanging out of his mouth, agape. His mouth is, as he's hearing me just rip into him. He's like, my favorite narrator. And then he whips out his pen and paper, getting ready to write down a rhyme, but his hands are shaking because he's so betrayed right now that his favorite horror narrator would diss him in such such a savage manner. East Coast. A couple of years ago, a 21-year-old female, was solo backpacking in France and made a day trip out to Versailles from Paris. You have to take 2 separate trains to both get out there and get back. I got on my first train heading back from Versailles, and my phone was at 3%, so I had it on airplane mode and low power, but had my headphones in without anything playing to deter people from approaching me. John didn't care. He came over and sat beside me, speaking to me in French. I'd been walking around the gardens all day and wasn't really in the mood to entertain anyone, so I pretended I didn't understand France. Fuck. I didn't understand France. Can you have an invite to the Discord? Lila, are you able to do that? Wait, did anyone here watch the Mike Tyson fight? I didn't see that. I can't believe Mike Tyson's still fighting. That shit's fucking wild. I've been walking around the gardens all day and wasn't really in the mood to entertain anyone, so I pretended I didn't understand French. He pulled out his phone and went out. Fuck. Yeah, I think, was it Lennox Lewis that he fought? He pulled out his phone and went onto Google Translate, asking if I wanted to learn French. I responded with, no, thank you, and went to put my headphones back in and appear even more uninterested since my body language wasn't enough for him. He continued to ask me questions through his phone, and the next one being, where are you sleeping? I lied and said that I was in a large hotel with my family and was heading back to them. He asked where it was, and all I replied with was Paris. He then asked if I was getting off at a specific stop of the subway, which I said yes to, another lie, and he said that he'd go with me. I immediately said no and ended the conversation. I got my headphones in and completely closed him off from talking to me, which prompted him to leave me alone for a couple of minutes. He then got a phone call and said to his friend, yeah, I'll get off at X stop and you go to Y stop. This set off the danger alarm in my head because Y stop is the actual stop that I was getting off at. We got to the transfer station and he got up and off the train and waited for me at the doors. I took my sweet time getting up and made sure I had everything, to the point that it was very obnoxious. I was doing it on purpose. He then left to get the other train and... Oops. Elizabeth Harrington with a 5 says, can you send me the Discord link as I am totally blind and can't really see the link I would love to talk to. Oh, yeah. So you're unable to click on it on the chat there. Maybe if that's an issue, because Lila linked that there. Thank you, Lila. Maybe if you commented on a social media post or something like that, I can find your profile and just like DM you the Discord link. You can chat with the crew there. Did Mike Tyson get beat up? I heard it was a draw. That's what I heard ended up happening. He then left to get on the other train, and I slowly made my way off into the next train. I mean painfully slow. I got on the train at the very front and was watching everyone around me to make sure that nobody was being suspicious or watching me, to the point that all they probably thought I was on... To the point that they all probably thought that I was on something. We got to X stop and I'm watching the people going off and coming on as well as anyone on the platform, but I see no sign of him or anyone paying much attention to me. We get to Y stop and I get off with the crowd, turn the corner, and he's there with 4 friends scanning everyone coming out. I turned around so fast and went the exact opposite way, taking my hair out of my bun and trying to change my appearance as much as I possibly could. As soon as I got out of the train, I ran back to my hostel and refused to leave it unless I was with one of my roommates. Mike Tyson did great. Yeah, dude, you ever watch some of Mike Tyson's like old, like when he was fucking 20 years, or no, he was like 16 at some of his boxing stuff, and he was like already like, I don't even know, like 220 pounds just to fucking train, dude. That guy was actually terrifying. Which story are we on? This is story 7 of 10. So we got 4 in total to go through. You love the interview he did decades ago about him and his birds. I don't think I've ever seen that. There's a really funny show with Mike Tyson and a cartoon. I forget what that is, but he has a pigeon. Like, I think Norm Macdonald is the pigeon in that show. It's really funny. How old am I? I'm 30. And yeah, I love the one. They're like, I hurt my back. And he's like, which part of your back did you hurt, Mike? And he's like, spinal. Spinal. Because I remember hearing that, like, out of context interview on, what's it called? On, like, the end of an iDubbbz video, which was hilarious. You remember when he fell off that hoverboard? Yeah, shit. I figured at that point he would have, like, broke a hip, but I think he's still a beast. Mike Tyson Mysteries. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. They said Tyson would graze people like a normal fight and then go to the sidelines scared, saying it didn't look like he hit them much, but it hurt. Wait, what? They said Mike Tyson would graze people like a normal fight and then, oh, they go to the sidelines scared, saying it didn't look like he hit them much, but it hurt. Yikes. Yeah. I think he's just so explosive, you can't even see it. You love Mike Tyson's lisp. It is beautiful. I love it. I broke my back. Whoa, which aspect? My spinal. Actually, let me just fucking play that right now. Mike Tyson spinal. This shit's so funny, dude. It's like, oh yeah.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You broke?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
This shit's so funny, dude. Which portion of that? Is it a vertebrae? Spinal. Oh my god. That shit's great. Spinal. This happened to me 2 weeks ago. I started university in September and therefore live in a students-only apartment complex. There are 4 other apartments in my hallway and sometimes we just spend time in each other's apartments. I had the absolute chance, that's ironic, to lose my keys the first week of university. It wasn't a big deal, I simply paid for another key. After a week in my apartment, I started to notice that some of my stuff wasn't in the same place as I thought I'd put it. It didn't scare me because I know I'm a distracted person. On the day of the incident, I was coming home earlier than usual with another student, Thomas, the boy that lives in the apartment next to mine. We got in, and when I unlocked my door, I saw a woman inside my apartment. Of course, it scared me, but as I was about to ask her who in the world she was, spinal. Of course, it scared me, but as I was about to ask her what the F she was doing here, she told me, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you'd be home this early. I'm the janitor. I clean the rooms weekly." She then smiled at me and went out. I didn't know we had a janitor, but this kind of explained why my stuff was moving. Thomas then noticed that she had left her keys on my desk and said that I should give them back to her. When I took a closer look, I just realized those were my lost keys. The night passed and I decided to talk to the man in charge of the complex about this. I told him that the janitor that had my lost keys... Oops, I keep pressing the wrong fucking button. Are skinwalkers real? 4 skinwalkers are real. Shellbell, how much have you missed? Well, it's been 2.5 hours, and we have about 3 stories left after this. So, a wee bit. A channel where I react to funny memes. Potentially. That's a good idea. The night passed and I decided to talk to the manager. Okay, wait. I told him that the janitor that had my lost keys... okay. Oops, I'm still recording. Fudge. Fudge Newtons. I told him about the janitor that... shit. I told him about the janitor that had my lost keys, so I didn't really lose them, and I asked for my money back. He just looked at me in total incomprehension and told me, "But we don't have a janitor." I just froze. Then who went into my apartment for the past few weeks? Why was she still there? We didn't call the police because nothing had been stolen, but I still searched for cameras in my apartment. You never know with these psychopaths. I haven't seen her since that, and I'm glad to know that she can't enter the complex anymore without the badge on. Whoops. Spinal. I haven't seen her since that, and I'm glad to know that she can't enter the complex anymore without a badge on the keys. Squawk walkers. Skin squawkers. I broke my spinal. I should censor bad words with spinal. That would be hilarious. What the spinal are you doing here, mother spinal? Eat my spinal. Okay. Yeah, I think these subsequent stories are a little bit shorter, so they kind of, I think that's why I did 10 stories, because they kind of, doesn't reading so much tire your voice. Feel pretty good right now. I woke up the other day from a nap, and when I like turned my head to both sides, I would feel like a pinching, as if though like there was some sort of like protrusion within below my like Adam's apple that was causing like, you know, pinching on the neck, and it kind of hurt. And I was like really worried that I had like some sort of fucking like a growth or some shit on my fucking pituitary gland for like 3 seconds, but I couldn't feel anything. Everything felt totally normal, but it was like it took a while, but the pain eventually went away like after, but I would like quickly turn my head and like feel like a pain, and I haven't felt it since. But I was like really worried. I was like, holy fuck, did like, you know, reading so much give me esophageal cancer? You know where your mind goes whenever you like feel shit like that. You're like, what the fuck? Hallows Eve with the tenses. Oh yeah, stream time. Dough for the bro. And sorry I was late. Just woke up. No worries, yo. I feel that weird, unless depending on where you are, but I definitely feel the weird sleep schedule. And thank you so much for the 10, Hallows Eve. Thank you. I should change the new sub or tipper sound to spinal. That would be good. I may just. A pinched nerve. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just weird because it felt as if though it was like present on the front of my neck. You know what I mean? Like there was some sort of a goiter. I don't think it would be a goiter. I just feel like those like form from. Isn't that from lack of iodine? Goiter. Let me look at now. I'm all fucking. What is I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that. Abnormal enlargement of the thyroid gland. Your thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland located on the base of the neck, just below your Adam's apple. Although goiters are usually painless, a large goiter can cause a cough and make it difficult for you to swallow or breathe. Yeah, I don't think that was it. And I don't really, it's not even, like, I can't even feel any sort of, like whenever I was, like, moving, when I was feeling around, I didn't even feel like anything, but it was just as if, though, like, maybe like aliens put, like, a chip in my neck, and that's what I was feeling. I think when I was taking a nap, I probably had a chip installed. That's probably what happened. I broke my spinal. That was the issue. Yeah, when you Google your symptoms, they're always going to be fucking cancer. It's a no-go zone. All right. Hypochondriac. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'd like to. I don't know. I'm not too wild about it, but sometimes you're just like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, fuck, I'm 30, you know? And I know that's young and shit, and I do work out or whatever, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is the time when people start dying randomly, you know? I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but I'm just, you know, you get wild in your head. Yeah. I'm probably pregnant, yeah. Yeah, I haven't eaten enough burritos is probably the issue. How many times you thought you were pregnant? That's funny. For a little backstory, the legal drinking age in my country is 18, so if you want alcohol and didn't have a fake ID or a parent to get it for you, then you had to wait around outside the off-license liquor store for the Americans. Oh, that was a long sentence, and I fucked it up. For a little backstory, the legal drinking age in my country is 18, so if you want alcohol and didn't have a fake ID or a parent to get it for you, then you had to wait outside of the off license, which is like a liquor store for the Americans, until someone came by who agreed to go in and purchase the alcohol for you. So we waited around, found someone who was willing to go in and buy our alcohol for us, and got him to purchase a few bottles of vodka for me and a few friends, two of which I was with, and the other we were meeting after we'd done this. Now, as it was 6 p.m., we decided it was too much of a risk to decant our vodka into... Decant? Decant? What the fuck is decant? Gradually pour, or liquid.
Decant.
Typically wine or solution from one container to another, especially without disturbing the sediment. That's funny. Decant. I've not seen that used. Better a chip than a probe. This is true. Maybe it was the probe that went so far it went up to my throat. Now, as it was around 6 p.m., we decided it was too much of a risk to decant our vodka into a less suspicious-looking bottle in the middle of the street, as it was very busy, so we did what we would usually do in this situation and found a nearby food place to quickly run in and use the bathroom to decant our alcohol so we could be on our merry way. This time we chose to do this in a nearby McDonald's. We'd done it in before, so we knew it was a safe bet. So we go into the McDonald's and head straight for the bathroom, as we'd done a million times before. As we get into the bathroom, me and my other two friends, we'll call them Harriet and Kara, all occupy one cubicle to get the job done and get out and back to our drinking ASAP. And as I previously mentioned, we'd done this lots of times before and usually opted to come into this McDonald's as it was usually busy, which meant no one paid attention to three teenagers running straight to the toilet without purchasing anything. So anyway, we're all doing this, our little... fuck. Do I ever get stories that are really badly typed? I do. Yes. Very often. So anyway, we're all in there doing our thing when I could suddenly hear a lot of shifting and moving around us. Oops. God damn it. So anyway, we're all in there doing our thing when I could suddenly hear a lot of shifting and moving around. I don't know why I can't say the sentence. Invite you to the Discord. Oh yeah, Lila's got to get the invite. Get them deets. So anyway, we're all in there doing our thing when I could suddenly hear a lot of shifting and moving above us. I figured it was possibly the air conditioning and opted not to tell my friends as I thought it would freak them out. We get the job done, and as we're about to leave the cubicle, we hear a giggle and... Excuse me. We hear a giggle. Ooh, girls. It's me, the ceiling fairy. I'd like a drink of your decanter. May I have some? We get the job done, and as we're about to leave the cubicle, we hear a giggle and... Where are you guys? Fuck. I gotta read this beforehand to figure out where are you girls off to. I was presenting... Oh, okay. I look up and... Okay. We get the job done, and as we're about to leave the cubicle, we hear a giggle and a, where are you girls off to? I looked up and see the forehead and eyes of a male who looked to be about 30, just staring out from underneath the tile in the ceiling that he'd slightly lifted. We're all in shock, just staring at this guy who proceeded to giggle down at us and ask our names, where we were going to, and if he could come. We're all in shock because, let's be honest, who really expects there to be some random guy in the ceiling of a McDonald's? Being a teenager who thought I was untouchable, I proceeded to tell the guy that he was a perv and to F right off. The guy seemed to enjoy this and giggled a little more, still shifting around in the ceiling, never taking his eyes off of us. Now I should probably mention that along with pouring our drink into other bottles, we Dude, this story is actually amazing. Like, I don't know why, I'm just like really enjoying. I feel like that's like super fucking creepy. You know what I mean? Yeah. 30? It was you, Hoel. Hello, little girls. It's me, Hoel. The local McDonald's ceiling rat man. I know, how did he not? If you can get up into the fucking ceiling and move a tile away, like, I guess the distribution of weight could potentially hold you up there, but believe me, as a guy who crawls through McDonald's ceilings, I usually fall through them. "69 mistakes. Oh shit. Let's go. Hike my pants up above my belly button. Let's roll, baby." If you guys have pants you can pull up to your belly button, I suggest you do it right now, because this story is about to get wicked. Now, I should probably mention that along with pouring our drink into other bottles, we pre-rolled a few joints, so we were terrified to alert anyone at this point, as we were young and terrified. Mother fudger, dude. I suck butt. Now, I should probably mention that along with pouring our drinks into other bottles, we pre-rolled a few joints, so we were scared to alert anyone at this point, as we were young and terrified of our parents finding out. The guy still staring at us proceeds to ask questions like, "What age are you guys? Where do you live? Can I have some of your drink and smoke of your weed?" Still all the while twitching and fidgeting overhead. He then started to lift the tile, and as we're all stuck in a cubicle with this guy above us, we knew the only way for him to get down was to come down directly on top of us. So we got out of there at that point pretty quickly. We went outside and discussed what we were going to do, and I decided to go back in and alert someone, as it's a very busy McDonald's, and I knew that there would be a woman and children in and out of the toilet until closing time. Fuck. 666 in the chat. Uh-oh. Things are gonna get spookerly. We went outside and discussed it. I decided to go back and alert someone, as it was very busy and I knew that there would be women and children. Wait, you're telling me that not all women's bathrooms don't have a guy up in the ceiling? The bathroom fairy? You guys don't have a bathroom fairy? Because when McDonald's hired me, they specifically said I was to be the bathroom fairy. We went outside and discussed what we were going to do, and I decided to go back in and alert someone, as it's a very busy McDonald's, and I knew that there would be women and children in and out of the toilet until closing time. I didn't want to risk that creep staying up there just to spy on them, especially since I knew he was there and had witnessed his behavior firsthand. So I go in, tell a member of staff that I'd been in the toilet for a long while talking on a phone call. Terrible lie, but my 15 to 16-year-old brain was too scared to tell the truth in case they alerted the police. And that's when the guy had appeared, and to my shock, they were completely unsurprised. They were just angry more than anything. I've seen a few male members of staff enter the toilet, and I figured they could handle it from there, so I went on my way. We still went into that McDonald's, but never had any encounters with Ceiling Guy again. We're not even sure if the guy got caught, as we didn't hear anything about it afterwards. Oops. They just went in angry. That fucking Hoel and that bathroom fairy? God damn it. What'd I tell you? You're not a fucking bathroom fairy. What do you mean? I'm the bathroom fairy. I make sure everyone can pee comfortably. I collect their pee. What do you mean I collect their pee and give them French fries? We still went into that McDonald's, but never had any encounters with Ceiling Guy again. I'm gonna call him Bathroom Fairy. Hopefully the author doesn't care if I switch it, but I'm gonna call it Bathroom Fairy because that's fucking funny. We still went to that McDonald's, but never had any fuck. We still went into that McDonald's, but never had any encounters with that Bathroom Fairy. We're not even sure if the guy got caught, as we didn't hear anything about it afterwards. I know. The Ceiling Fairy just wanted some fucking friends. All these girls are just a bunch of snitches who probably ended up getting stitches. I mean, when you're taking a whiz, sometimes you just need an arm to come down from the ceiling to give you some... Oh shit, Rob Ross wants turkey stories or he's rioting, dude. Please don't start a riot in my chat. That'd be bad news. Bad news bears. Turkey Story Fairy. I am the Turkey Story Fairy. Something about the Bathroom Fairy. Yeah, you gotta think of something. You got any yolks? The first job I had was... Fuck. My voice is done, bro. Bro. Beebity bobbity boobity beebity bobbity. Riot for turkey. Listen, Thanksgiving's over. We're moving on. When's turkey season actually? Like the hunting season? Isn't that like is that around now or like before? I mean, it would make sense if it was around Thanksgiving, but it also could be totally the opposite of that too. Like, I'm a dude, so I use the urinal, and when I get salt and oil in my hands after the generous bathroom fries, I can just wash it off with soap and water fall from the urinal. I know, the urinals are great, actually. Urinals are my preferred method of washing my hands. It's just nice. It's fancier. It's like a interior waterfall. September to October. Oh, okay, that's perfect. Perfect timing then. But the season is over now. You think it's bear season right now? Bear. When's squirrel season? The first job I had was at a pizza place in my hometown. It's a really small town with a little over 1,000 people. We're right next to a main highway that's about 30 minutes away from a major city. One night at around September to October, I'm working with 2 other coworkers and our manager. Our whole shift has been pretty slow and we're just getting ready to close at 9 p.m. Around 8:30 p.m., 2 men and a little girl at around the age of 7 or 8 come in. I go up to the front and ask them if they need help with anything or if they're going to a place... Oops. I go up to the front and ask them if they need help with anything or if they're going to place an order. One of the men, the shorter one, says that they are just passing through and then asks about the prices of different items on the menu. He also asks what time we close. I answer and he just says okay and walks away to sit down with the little girl at a booth. The taller man then leaves the building and gets into their car parked out front. The smaller man gets up after about 5 minutes, whispers something to the little girl, then leaves. My coworkers and I are watching this all go down and talking about how strange it is. The little girl gets up and starts dancing around to the radio station we have playing. After a couple of minutes of this, I walk up to her and ask her if she's hungry or if she wants a drink. She says she only wants a water, which I get for her. She takes it back to the booth and sits down. I ask her who she's waiting on, and she says her dad. My coworkers and I are starting to get worried for her because the two men haven't come back yet and it's 8:50 p.m. We start to think that neither of one of them are her dad at all. My manager decides to call the police. Our town's too small for our own police station, so we have to wait for them to come from the next town over, which takes at least 15 minutes. I go to sit with her at the booth. I'm making small talk with her, trying to make sure she's safe and nothing happens before the cops can get there. In the middle of our conversation, she gets up and says she has to leave. My manager and I try to tell her she needs to stay in the restaurant until her dad comes back, but she starts crying and screaming and insists on leaving. A couple of days later, my manager said the cops found her walking down the road alone later that night. We never heard any more information about the situation afterwards, and I just hope she's safe. She's safe. I just said safe. What the fuck? Jensen. What's up, Big Doge? We never heard any more information about the situation afterwards. I just hope that she's safe now. Tofurkey season. Bear season was last weekend. Deer season started Saturday. Huh. Does bear season last that long, or is it like kind of a quick little thing? Jesus, bro. Town is big enough for McDonald's, but not police. The McDonald's police and the McDonald's ferry will take care of everything. The turkey ate her dad. I think that actually... Oh yeah, it says here in the edit. Also, the turkey ate her dad. Her dad was a turkey. Hefe? Is someone in here named Hefe? Just joined late. How was your Thanksgiving? It was good. Got to do Friendsgiving also, and eat lots of food, and feel stuffed. Eric versus Joel boxing match. Who's Eric? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm like, who? Alright guys, last story of the night. Hopefully this one's also about a McDonald's ferry and turkey. Hopefully it's turkey related. We can please Brob before he starts a riot in the chat. Lila, you hear mice in the walls. Oh god, I don't like that. Does your cat ever like go after them? The God of Pez with the 5 says Jason Bateman is the best actor alive. Fight me, chat. Huh. You know, Jason Bateman's like a really one of the... I mean, he was in... What's that show? Fuck. Jason Bateman. Yeah, what is he known for? Arrested Development. Yeah, sorry. But like, other than that, it's like weird seeing him in like serious stuff. I don't know. Like he's got one of those faces, or as an actor, that I just like can't. I don't know. I can't like help but be like, that's Jason Bateman, and I feel like he should be hosting, you know, a TMZ show or something of that nature rather than being in something serious. It's so weird, like, he's 50 years old and he looks fucking fantastic, you know? I mean, I guess that's just the life of Hollywood, like, you get, you know, hair plugs and then you know. Joel is a rap god, face shitting Pegasus, this is true. This is the truest thing you've ever said about me. But yeah, you get a personal trainer, a dietitian, and hair plugs, you're good to go, baby. He just looks constantly condescending. You know, I wouldn't put it past him. You know who also gave me that vibe? Was John Malkovich. John Malkovich seems like really, like, kind of like pompous. I don't know if he is or not. Maybe he's not. Maybe it's his characters he plays. But John Malkovich, and then the guy from, like, who's the guy from House of Cards? Spacey? Kevin Spacey? I remember being locked in his basement one time, and he was so rude. Alright, last story. Make sure you guys think of something funny to say at the end. Yeah, everybody seems to be studying for some finals. Oh, I've got a burp deep in my stomach. Superstar Fred, thank you. Okay. I'm a 17-year-old male living in a relatively quiet life in rural northern Montana. I don't party a lot or do stupid stuff, but I do love driving in the mountains. Little did I know this could have cost me my life. It's August of this year, 2020, and I was enjoying some free time on my day off of work, and I decided to go take a drive in the mountains north of Kalispell. I drive a red Nissan Frontier straight out of the 90s with a super temperamental transmission for context. The drive there was really uneventful. Typical idiot drivers, big diesels, northern highway, dreariness. It was a foggy, fucking shit. It was a coldy day. The drive there was really uneventful. Typical idiot drivers, big diesels, northern highway dreariness. It was a foggy, cold, rainy day, so I figured nobody would be in the mountains at this time and I would be all alone up there. When I pulled off the main road and up the mountainous dirt road, I felt normal, like nothing was wrong other than my stupid transmission. I am driving up the road for about 2 hours until I hit a peak and get out to take some pictures, something I usually do for memories. And nothing was really out of the ordinary, and it was silent other than the wind whistling through the trees and rain. I was truly alone. Until I got the feeling. You know that feeling you get in your core when someone or something is looking at you? I was just standing there motionless, listening to any noises that might alert me to someone's presence. But there was absolute stillness. I started slowly walking back to my truck when I heard a loud boom, and a sound like you hear in those old Western movies. My fight or flight was instantly in 6th gear, and I sprinted back to my truck, started it, and by the grace of God or some or some bathroom fairy. My fight or flight was instantly in 6th gear, and I sprinted back to my truck, started it, and by the grace of God or some higher being, was able to get it into 1st quickly and sped off. I found a spot big enough and turned the truck around and hauled as much butt as this little 4-banger could do back down the mountain road and onto the highway. I drove completely flat out down the highway to the nearest gas station where I stopped. I was pooping bricks at this point because it wasn't hunting season. I didn't see or hear anyone else, and there was no way I could be mistaken for an animal. I get out to see if the truck was damaged at all, and lo and behold, there was a massive bullet hole. I'm gonna guess There was a massive bullet hole. I'm gonna guess a 7mm round size hole in the side of my truck. It went in by the rear fender and came out through the tailgate. I immediately called the county sheriff, but since there was no bullet or evidence that they had done it. Oh, I see. I immediately called the county sheriff, but since there was no bullet or evidence that they had done it, there wasn't much they could do. Nothing else has really happened since then, and I haven't gone back to that area. Not as exciting, whatever. Nothing else has really happened since then, and I haven't gone back to that area. Ghost mouse. It was a ghost mouse that shot my truck. Oh, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion was really good. That's cool. Yeah, That would be neat to watch. Where did that air at? Was it on YouTube or? Okay, we have reached the end. You're editing a children's book about chihuahuas. Oh, that's cool. Is it like a picture book or? And is that your job, editing kids' books? Because that sounds interesting. Hoo. Bibbidi bobbidi boobidi bibbidi bibbidi bobbidi boo. Okay. Time to read the end. Someone think of something funny to say. Please and thank you. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join my Discord to interact with me and other listeners directly. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, always protect your spinal. I saw that one there, but I might talk about the fairy. Yeah, the bathroom fairy watches over. Yeah, watched all. Thanks so much, friends. And may the bathroom fairy watch over all of you. Oh wait, I can say spinal at the end too. Thanks so much, friends. And may the bathroom fairy watch over all of you. Spinal. Boom, 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 baby, boom, 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 boom. I'm playing my bass with my mouth. We did it. We made it to the end. We have fucking read 10 stories. They were from Reddit and they were spooky. But now, I must depart, so that I may go edit these and have them out on Patreon, which is only $1 a month, $10 for a year. I think there's like I don't have any anniversary specials because it says it's your Patreon anniversary. Go tell everyone. But I'm like, I don't fucking know what to say. And yeah, so $1 a month early access there. Then I'll have it up on the YouTube channel as always. It will be out tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your hump day pleasure, being it's Wednesday and whatnot. Also, the Spotify and other podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, is up to date. It's every 2 weeks on that. Started to release on a Tuesday because I think it kind of like, I don't know, you're used to content on Mondays, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but if I do the podcast on Tuesdays, it just kind of can keep, adds another day of content and all that kind of stuff, which is cool and exciting and makes me really, really scared because everything's scary. Especially rats in the walls, Lila. They're there. They're going to come and climb in your mouth and steal your cheese tooth. We all have a cheese tooth. Eleanor Cecil has become a member of the Buttersock cult in a full-grown pizza. Welcome, welcome, Eleanor. So, unfortunately, it doesn't notify me. I'm going to have to look into that. But anyways, guys, follow me on all my socials at letsread.official on Instagram, at letsreadcreepy on Twitter. Join the Discord link. The mods can link that for you. And you can continue chatting with all these beautiful people here and make friendos. Friendos online. Yay. But yeah, I'll be back, as I said, tonight at 7 p.m. with the fully edited hot action stories and the bathroom piss fairy. Be sure to save your piss for the bathroom fairy. It will come in handy, I promise you. And yeah, I'll probably be back to stream again Thursday. Just, yeah, keep an eye out on social media. I usually let people know if I'm streaming or set your notifications on here to always be kept up to date so you never miss one. But peace out, my friends. Love you. Stay well. Stay safe. All that good stuff. I see good things on the horizon. Spinal. My spinal hurts. Ow.